battle of two teams sitting in second place in their respective conferences. The Endicott College Gulls out of the Commonwealth Coast Conference and the UMass Boston Beacons out of the Little East Conference. Should be a good one on a cold, chilly, wintry Monday night in Boston. With former Beacon Steve Consiglio, Bill Spalding, glad to be with you. Steve, should be a lot of fun tonight for the Beacons. Start of a really busy stretch in the final week of the regular season. 5 games now over the next 4 days for UMass Boston.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough stretch for the Beacons, especially with number 1 in New England, Salve Regina, tomorrow night. I mean, the weather's not what you want, a little misty, a little bit, maybe even rain later in the forecast, but you're here to play baseball, we're going to play 9 innings.
2 very good teams tomorrow, 2 very good teams tonight as well as we look at the all-time series between UMass Boston and Endicott College. Important game for Endicott here. The Gulls, who have won 8 of 10 all-time against the Beacons but lost the last 2, are looking for a win against a regionally ranked opponent. Both teams come in red hot. Each team's won 7 straight games coming in.
Yeah, it's insane how hot these teams are. And I remember last year it was at Endicott, their senior day game, and we buried them. I think we won, it says 12-4 right here last year, and it wasn't a good sign. One of my buddies, Matt Palo, was on the team last year, and it was a tough senior day for them, but they look to get some revenge this year at Beacon Stadium.
Let's move into our 4 things you need to know for this game today between UMass Boston and Endicott College. Mentioned that both teams are hot, riding a win streak. Beacon's also very strong here at home, 11-3 this season at Monin Park.
Yeah, this team plays to UMass Boston's strength. They got great outfield defense, and the gaps are huge for their hitters to hit doubles, triples, and even inside the park home runs.
Endicott was second in the CCC last year. They again sit behind Salve Regina this year. And for UMass Boston, as a former pitcher for the Beacons, you got to love this. Top 10 in the country in the ERA. And one of the things I thought was very interesting is they're also first in the conference in strikeouts as well as walks. So a lot of swinging and missing. Pitchers have been really strong so far this season for UMass Boston. We'll pause now for the national anthem. When we come back, it'll be time for first pitch.
Right now for Endicott here in the top of the 4th. 2-0 pitch. That ball hit out to left field. It's deep. Going back on his brothers. That ball is gone. A grand slam from Harry Oranger, and it's a 6-1 game. Nick Brothers reached up, tried to make it a little bit over his glove, and Harry Oranger has given Endicott College a 6-1 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. That struck out 10 times. First pitch to Brian, hit right through the wickets. And Sanchez is going to come home. An RBI single for Brian Dupree. And the Beacons have cut the deficit to 6-2.
Easel, chance to pick up 2 more RBI. 2-2 pitch, flares it over towards the shortstop, and he gets by home. 1 run's going to score. Antonio home at third. And Todd Easel has his 13th RBI in the past 10 games.
1-2 with no outs. Benito out there in second. He reached some in there, and then a wild pitch. That ball hit up the middle, and it's going to get down. Benito is getting way.
Those are part of the highlights from the last time Endicott College played on the road against UMass Boston, though, of course, that was back before Monin Park when the Beacons played their home games down in Brockton. About set for first pitch today. Let's check in on our player to watch for this game. Steve, one of your former teammates, Luke Nagle, is senior, moved into the starting lineup a few weeks ago, and he has not looked back. He is red hot right now.
Yeah, you say red hot, and it makes me think of Florida trip down when he was a junior, obviously redshirted last year, so he's a senior this year. But I thought he was going to be the best hitter I've ever seen in my life. He hit 3 home runs in a span of 11 games. He hit like 600, and he still didn't manage to get Player of the Week because Coley Barker hit a walk-off against Cortland State. But Luke Nagle's a senior captain. He's just great baseball player, does it the right way, works hard. And I don't know, it's great to see him succeed this year.
Let's run you through the starting lineup for Endicott College as they'll hit against Beacon starter Josh Gerson heading into this game. Starting lineup for Endicott, it's top heavy with Michael DiDonato and Mike Cochis. Team that has some decent power up and down the order as well. They hit about 287 as a team. They average a little more than 5 runs per game. In the field for UMass Boston, it'll look like this across the diamond. Beacons defensively have been pretty steady this year. Charlie Hughie playing that shortstop position. Josh Lopez, another guy's been red hot with his stick at second base. Sal Frashino's back in at center field today between Herzog and Nagle in center for UMass Boston. And the Beacon pitcher we mentioned is Josh Gerson, making his third start of this season. 6'1", 190-pound freshman. In limited time this year, 7 games, 15 and 2/3 innings. He's been really solid at 2.30 ERA. And that number you love to see for a freshman, 16 strikeouts against just 6 walks. So already coming in throwing a lot of strikes.
Yeah, he's effectively wild, as we call it. He throws mostly strikes, but when he does throw a ball, it could be up and in, it could be up and out, it could be way all over the place. But he does know how to work his way into the strike zone. He struggled a little bit with hit by pitches. I think he had 2 last outing because his fastball runs in on right-handed batters and tends to nick their elbows and knees a bunch. But yeah, he's really shown himself as a freshman. You love to see him succeed the rest of the way.
Endicott College going without Nick Burno in the starting lineup today. Nick Burno, a .333 hitter, but with 9 RBIs in 33 games. Michael Casciano is also not starting today. He's hit .325 on the season with 16 RBIs. So DiDonato and Coaches at the top of the order, the top 2 hitters in the lineup today for Endicott College against this UMass Boston group. And for both teams, it's an important final week. Beacons, of course, play 3 games non-conference before they will then head back into conference play now on Thursday. It was originally supposed to be Friday, a doubleheader to end the conference season against Western Connecticut State, but with the tough weather forecasts, move it to Thursday. 5 games in 4 days, including some regionally ranked and even a nationally ranked opponent tomorrow in Salve Regina.
Yeah, it's going to be a real test for the Beacons pitching staff especially. They got 5 games, a lot of innings for everybody to eat up. Hopefully Gerson can find a way to go 6, 7, maybe even 8 innings tonight, keep the pitch count down, throw a lot of strikes, and just stay ahead of batters for the rest of the way.
Leadoff batter for Endicott College is Michael DiDonato, junior from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, hitting at .333 on the season with 2 home runs and 28 RBIs. Gerson gets the game going with a first pitch strike. It comes at 7:13 today. A 13-minute delay, thanks in part to the fact that Endicott College's bus didn't show up, and they ended up needing to use public transportation, get a bus from the city of Salem to get down here. 0-1, ground ball slowly hit foul when the count's now 0-2 to DiDonato. Part of the challenge of being an athlete, though, adapting to those tougher situations, maybe a shorter warm-up than they would have liked. Got here about a half hour later than they would have anticipated.
Yeah, you just got to cut down BP a little bit. Should be the same for the pitching staff. You know, there's always some waiting time before the game for the pitchers. But hitters, it's always tough because you got to warm up your body and hit almost at the same time.
Especially on a day like today where the temperature in Boston never got much above 50, low-hanging clouds, and a little bit of mist as well here at Monin Park. 1-2, breaking ball. Just missed the outside corner, appeal down to first, and DiDonato did not go around. Count moves to 2-2. Josh Gerson, 6'1" freshman from Melville, New York, against the junior Michael DiDonato. Gerson's 2-2. There's that buzz up and in, like you said, with the running fastball, and the count comes full.
I don't know if you could see it, but hitter right now is wearing one of those arm pads, so that wouldn't even have hurt if he managed to nick him on the elbow.
Now a 3-2. Popped up, right side of the infield. Second baseman Lopez, first baseman Fowler. It's Fowler, and he drops the ball. Popped out of his mitt right at the end. And the home plate umpire says he did not squeeze it for long enough, so DiDonato reaches on the E3. An ominous start to this one.
Yeah, you can see the wind blowing out in right field. The flags are really flying. It's blowing hard in from right field. I mean, at first, Lopez and Fowler couldn't decide who was going to catch it. Fowler called him off, the right play, but he just didn't get his feet under it. Popped right out.
So after the error, Michael Coaches will bat with a runner on first, nobody out. Mike Coaches, senior out of Fairfield, Connecticut. Fairfield Ludlow, one of 2 natives of Fairfield, Connecticut on this Endicott College roster. A regional roster, but a little bit more spread out than the UMass Boston roster, which is a little heavier on the Massachusetts natives. First pitch to Coaches in the dirt, well blocked by the catcher, Anthony Searles. You know, Anthony Searles, captain behind the plate, such a rock-solid defensive catcher. How much does that help these young pitchers, freshmen like Josh Gerson, to know you have a wall back there behind home plate?
It's awesome because not only is he a wall, but he throws out almost everybody. Loves keeping runners off the bases. Not afraid to throw behind them if they get too much. It just relaxes you as a pitcher because you don't have to worry about the running game.
1 ball, no strike count to the 2-hole hitter, Mike Coaches. UMass Boston's pitching staff leads the Little East Conference with a 3.00 ERA. Gerson will check on the runner DiDonato again. Mike DiDonato does have 17 stolen bases this season. He's only been caught twice. He's not running. And that's a called strike at the knees. Count to 1-1 on Coaches. It's a pretty veteran group for Endicott College in the starting lineup today. 2 seniors and 3 grad students. So throw over to first base looks DiDonato back. There's a lot of experience for this group that has been one of the top teams in the CCC the past few seasons. Tucked in just behind Salve Regina in the standings. 1-1. Inside, delayed steal, throw from Searles is in time. DiDonato erased. He took a bouncing lead and ran about midway through that pitch getting home.
Yeah, we call it a delayed steal. Clearly, Searles picked it up right away and just threw him out. I mean, it was just a great read by Searles. Good communication by Fowler at first base, and it turns into an out.
So Searles wipes away the error, and now the bases are empty, 1 down. 2-1 to Coaches. Runs inside, it's 3-1. Beacon pitching staff leads the conference in opponents' batting average, leads the conference in strikeouts, but also is, depending on how you look at it, either first or last in walks. They have more walks than any other team in the Little East. Ground ball up the middle, Lopez tried to backhand, and it's through to center field. Coaches aboard. It's a base hit. 1 out, base runner, top of the first for Endicott College. Almost there for Lopez, who has that good range behind second, but couldn't quite haul it in.
Yeah, he was initially put in the lineup for his defense, and it turns out he's hitting over 400 now. He really turned it around from the beginning of the year and crushing the baseball.
Grad student Anthony Serena digs into the 3-hole. 257 bat, no home runs, 12 RBIs. Breaking ball inside, ball 1. Serena, a grad student out of Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Like I mentioned, one of 3 grad students in the starting lineup today for 22-15 Endicott against 24-9 UMass Boston. Both teams have won 7 straight. This is down low. While it's an important game for both sides against 2 teams that are strong in the region, you'd say for Endicott College particularly important here as they are searching for a regional win against a regionally ranked UMass Boston squad, currently 4th in the NCAA region rankings.
Yeah, it'd be especially tough for Endicott to get a bid if they don't win or make it to the regional tournament if they don't win their conference, especially with number 1 Salve Regina in their conference. It'd really be an upset, and it'd be impressive if they made it.
3 ball, no strike count to Serena. Wind blowing in from right. Temperature in the high 40s here as we started this game off around 7:15. 3-0 from Gerson. Splits the plate in half and moves the count to 3-1. Lights on at Monin Park. First to back-to-back 7:15 first pitches over the next couple nights here at Monin. Tomorrow night, that Salve Regina team we mentioned will be here. Then on Wednesday, the Beacons go out and take on Amherst out of the NESCAC. And then back here Thursday for a doubleheader, starting at 4 and then likely around 7 p.m., maybe 7:30 in the second game of that doubleheader against Western Connecticut State to round out the season. Runner going on 3-1. Ground ball slowly hit to third. Boudreaux watching it bounce, and it does roll foul.
Very smart play by Boudreaux right there. I don't think he would have gotten the speedy runner there. No chance of getting the runner at second as he tried to steal.
Just had to hope that that ball would continue trickling foul, and it did. Count full. We'll see if Coaches is running again. Another good base runner, 11 steals this season. He's only been caught twice. As a team, Endicott has stolen 70 bases this year.
It's back-to-back speedy teams for the Beacons. Played Plymouth State this weekend, who stole 75 bases coming into the Saturday game.
Runner not going this time. Ball lined out right field. Herzog started in, now backtracks and puts it away for the second out of the inning. Sends the runner Coaches back to first. 2 away for the cleanup hitter, Corbin Hyde. Corbin Hyde is senior. This is a rare start for him, only the 21st game he's played in this season, but only his 24th at bat coming up, so usually used as a pinch hitter. He is 5 for 23 in the season with 5 RBIs. Gerson deals just low, ball 1. Hyde, a grad student out of Lewiston, Maine. Mentioned Endicott players representing every state in New England, and then some players from further away. The furthest away on the roster is Matt Bald from De Pere, Wisconsin. 1-0, slider. There's a strike on the outside corner. Small lead for Coaches at the moment, but we've seen him attempt to steal already today. He's bluffing his steal here. Ground ball chopped to Lopez. High hop, gobbles it up, and fires across to Fowler to put the inning to bed. So a couple runners reach, but Josh Gerson works around it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 Beacon error. We move to the bottom of the first inning here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
Back at Monin Park here on the Beacons Broadcast Network, we move to the bottom of inning number 1. UMass Boston taking on Endicott College in a scoreless game. And here is the lineup for the Beacons. Red hot right now, 7 consecutive wins, and nobody, maybe in New England, is hotter than Chris Fowler, the 4-hole hitter who rides a 26-game hit streak coming into today's game.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx that, but he's been able to get that hitting streak so long because top 3 guys always get on base, always a runner on first, almost always a runner on first, and that first baseman's got to hold the runner on, keeping him on the base, creating a huge hole on the right side for Fowler. Hopefully we can see that today with the defense and double play depth. Second baseman shifted to the middle, and he tends to just roll the ball over through that hole.
Fowler hitting at .633 over the Beacons' last 3 games. That last week was phenomenal for him, and also for Luke Nagle, who hit .700 over the 3 games last week, and Josh Lopez, who hit .583 over the 3 games last week. They'll go up today against Joseph Oriola for the goals. Joseph Oriola, 4-3 on the season. Oriola is a freshman out of Sandwich, Massachusetts, and Pope John Paul II High School down on Cape Cod. His full pitching line this season, 12 games, 7 starts, 4-3 record, 32 2/3 innings pitched. Just his first pitch to Josh Lopez is way inside. In those 32 and 2/3 innings, he has given up 36 hits. He has walked 19. He has struck out 36. Delivers a strike to Lopez. Count to 1-1 on Beacon's Josh Lopez, hitting at .413 on the season. Lopez takes a called strike. This is now his 21st start. 1 home run, 13 RBIs, and he's a speed threat if he gets on base. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Lopez is down on strikes. So Oriola starts with a K, and now let's look at the defense supporting Joseph Oriola for this Endicott College squad. In the outfield from left to right, you have Corbin Hyde, Cam Farnham, and Steve Morganelli. Infield, Joseph Deutsch at third, Mike Cochis at short, Mike DiDonato at second. The first baseman is Chris Seidel, and the catcher is Hunter Boyce. First pitch, Dan Mantoni fouls a ball back to the screen. Mantoni, the designated hitter from Northbridge, Massachusetts, hitting at .323 on the season with 2 home runs and 29 RBIs. Dan is senior, also does a great job in the classroom where he's an engineering major for UMass Boston.
Yeah, he's your All-American boy, just a genius, great baseball player, two-way. He not only hits, he can pitch too.
0-1. Pitch missed inside. Mantoni, of course, will make his final regular season start of the season scheduled Thursday in that conference doubleheader against Western Connecticut State. Swings through this one for a strike. Pitched well over the weekend against Plymouth State. Beacon's starting pitchers combined to go 13 1/3 innings and strike out 13 in wins over Plymouth State in a sweep. 1-2. Mantoni right on it to foul it back to the screen.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get Mantoni out with just fastballs. You look for a slider, curveball, or changeup coming up right here.
That's how Oriola got Lopez with a slider. Last batter goes to the slider here, way off the plate. Joseph Oriola, just a freshman. That Pope John Paul II high school team, they play in Division 4, the smallest division in the MIAA, but they've won 3 straight state championships, and he was a big reason why as he rings up his 2nd consecutive strikeout. Two up, 2 down, brings up Kyle Boudris, Beacon's sophomore left-handed bat, hitting at .384 on the season. As a team, the Beacons are hitting .288 and average 7 runs a game.
Yeah, early in the season they were hitting about .220, which is low compared to usual. They're usually around .250, .260, and now they're all the way up to .280, .288. You could tell they've just been red hot, absolutely crushing the baseball, and hopefully they can continue it today.
And during that 7-game win streak, UMass Boston has outscored its opponents 56-8. This is hammered to center field by Boudris. Cam Farnham going back, and that is well over his head and deep into the corner. Boudris will slam on the brakes at second with a stand-up double. Runner in scoring position for the Beacons in the bottom of the first. Well, he hammered that ball even with the wind blowing in.
Yeah, he hit it right through the wind. Just got a good fastball and sent it to the left center gap. That usually would end up being 3 bases, triple, but Boudris is a smart runner. You don't want to ever make the last out at third base in the inning because he's already in scoring position. Now, see if Fowler can send him home.
Especially when you have this guy coming up with a runner in scoring position. Chris Fowler hitting .402 on the season, 4 home runs and 34 RBIs. Pitch high and wide for ball 1. Fowler hasn't just been extending his streak with singles. He's also ripped 4 home runs, 9 doubles, 2 triples this season. That pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, so Oriola makes it 1-1. Mentioned he has that high-pressure, big-game experience on a state championship team, and that can help ease the transfer a little bit to the college level.
Absolutely.
He delivers a 1-1. Swing and a miss. Elevated fastball. Got it past Fowler. Oriola seems to have pretty good zip on that fastball.
Yeah, I mean, from here, I'd say he's throwing 83 to 85 miles an hour. I don't have a radar gun on me right now, but maybe I could get a look from in front of us.
One, 2. Swing and a miss. That elevated fastball from Oriola. He strikes out this side and works around the 2-out double from Boutros. So we're scoreless after 1, heading to the second at Monin Park.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Back at Monin Park, here's the upcoming schedule for UMass Boston. And again, we mentioned just how busy a week this is. You might as well get your money's worth in the final week of the regular season. Beacons will play 5 games over the next 4 days, including nationally ranked Salve Regina tomorrow here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. And then it's conference tournament season next week. Beacons need a little bit of help to host for the second straight year. UMass Boston enters that season-ending conference doubleheader against Western Connecticut State, 2 games behind Southern Maine. We'll need Southern Maine to be swept by UMass Dartmouth while also sweeping Western Connecticut State.
Yeah, it's just the outlook's not looking good on that, because I do think Southern Maine has the tiebreaker over UMass Boston, because
Beacons have the tiebreaker because of a 1-1 split. So if the Beacons tie Southern Maine, it will be here next week.
Oh,
but
fair enough.
Still a tough task, and a lot of hope that Dartmouth will take 2 away from a Southern Maine team that's been rolling lately. Chris Seidel at the plate, first pitch swinging, hammers to short. Hughie's one-hop field, and his throw is in time. Struck pretty well by Seidel, but Charlie Hughie's done a really admirable job at shortstop this year after the injury to Murphy.
Yeah, Dave was one of their best players, and shortstop is one of those positions that you usually trade off for defense, but Murph was also a top bat in the lineup, usually hit third, and it's just a huge loss because we're able to bounce back. You know, it hurt at first, stayed 500 through the first half of the season, and finally caught a gust of wind, and they've been hot since.
Batter here, Steve Morganelli. 1-0 pitch to Morganelli is a strike on the inside corner. This season, the senior is hitting .271, no home runs, 10 RBIs. 1-1. Fly ball right field, slicing away from the right fielder Herzog, who was playing him to pull. This is into the corner, and it could be trouble. Morganelli rounding second, on his way to third. He is in there way ahead of the throw with a 1-out triple.
And the Beacons finally get burned by overshifting their outfield to left field. They've been doing that for the past couple games now, and it was the first time an opposing batter sent one down the right field line.
So a triple for Steve Morganelli, the second hit already today for Endicott College. Runner on third, 1 down. Joseph Deutsch, a freshman, will bat.
Yeah, as you can see, Nick Herzog in right field is almost playing right center.
Yep. And with the way the field's shaped, of course, the Fenway Park dimensions, it gets deep in right field very quickly as you move sharply from the line to right center. Slider, check swing. And he did not go around. 1-0 count to the freshman Deutsch, playing in his 34th game of the season. Deutsch is hitting .222 with 13 RBIs. Deutsch, a freshman from Fairfield, Connecticut. 1-0 pitch from Gerson. That clips the corner and moves the count to 1-1. Well, in this situation as a pitcher, early enough in the game, you're trying to limit the major damage, but are you doing anything special looking for that strikeout here that could get you out of this inning unscathed?
No, you're just trying to listen to Searles and hit your spots. As he missed his spot there, but still able to get it in the strike zone.
That slider was supposed to be outside. Instead, it front doored the strike zone, caught the inside corner.
Backed up on him, which is a hard pitch to throw on purpose and also a really hard pitch to hit.
Boudris is in on the grass at third. Back deep up the middle. 1-2. Ground ball slowly hit to Boudris and foul. Keep the count at 1-2. So ground ball to Kyle Boudris would likely hold the runner Morganelli over at third base. A ground ball up the middle to shorter second should score Morganelli from third.
Yeah, Hughie's playing way in the third base hole. A lot of room up the middle. I'd like to see Josh Lopez shift over just a little bit, maybe cover it up a little bit for that hole.
Comes the ball in 2-strike pitch. Slider cut on and missed. And Gerson gets that strikeout, which could now give him an opportunity to get out of the inning. First strikeout for Gerson. He's been throwing that slider a lot so far today.
Yeah, it's a good slider. Good tight slider, late break. And it's able to bear down on the right-handed batters.
So now it's Hunter Boyce, junior catcher for Endicott College. 14th game for Boyce. He's 6 for 24 this season with 4 RBIs. Fastball misses well low. Endicott College is deep at the catcher position. 4 different players listed as catcher on the roster. Of course, you can never have too many catchers.
Yeah, the Beacons are not very deep. Well, they have 4 catchers on the roster, but Hughie is their prominent backup catcher who's actually playing second base now. They got a few other freshmen, but you like to see them prove themselves in the next year and a half so they can earn a starting spot next year.
Yeah, there'll certainly be the opportunity because Anthony Searles has been the everyday catcher throughout his time here at UMass Boston. Will graduate at the end of this season. Gerson comes home on 2-0. Swing and a miss. In fact, foul tipped off Searles to move the count to 2-1 on Hunter Boyce. Boyce, a junior from Bangor, Maine. Endicott College up on the north shore of Massachusetts in Beverly, so not all that far from southern Maine. And they have a number of Maine natives on the roster. Of course, the University of Southern Maine leads the Little East Conference 11-1 so far this season, ahead of the Beacons at 9-3. 2-1. High fastball moves the count to 3-1. In fact, the Beacons' last loss was against Southern Maine. It seems to have woken them up since 7 consecutive wins, including a mammoth 9-1 thrashing of Southern Maine here for the first Southern Maine Conference loss of the season.
Well, yeah, you said they played Southern Maine and lost them. That game was played at Southern Maine, which is always a tough field to win at.
Herzog puts it away to end the top of the second. And Josh Gerson comes back from a 1-out triple, gets a strikeout, a pop-out, and strands that runner 90 feet from home. We go to the bottom of the second, still scoreless on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public.
Back at Monin Park, no score. Bottom 2 non-conference game between UMass Boston and Endicott College. The only other LEC non-conference game right now. Tufts is regionally ranked out of the NESCAC, but Eastern Connecticut State is putting the whooping on early. 9-1, Steve Consiglio. So that's a good scalp for the Little East Conference. And, of course, while your rivals during conference play, you love to see teams from your conference go out and put a whooping on teams from other conferences around the region to try to prove who's top dog.
Absolutely, and it's more important for the Beacons because they're 1-1 against Econ this year. And if they don't win the LEC, the Beacons would need a bid in order to reach the regional tournament, which these games become more important as we head that way.
Nick Herzog leads things off, and Herzog takes a called strike from Joseph Oriola. Oriola was really impressive in that first inning. He was hitting as high as 86 on the radar gun, and he struck out the side. High fastball there is ball one. Did allow a double to Kyle Boudris, but kept him stranded there for a scoreless first.
Stifled the red-hot Chris Fowler as well.
Breaking ball brings the count to 2-1. You mentioned the at-large bids, and of course Beacons got that at-large bid last year after winning the conference in the regular season, but failing to take the tournament championship. Called strike brings the count to 2-2. So those are the games that the conference, or rather the committee, looks at. Your wins against other regionally ranked teams and how your losses stand up as a slider's outside for a ball and it's 3-2.
Yeah, and last year UMass Boston beat Southern Maine twice in the regular season, who was previously ranked number 1 in New England before that happening.
Pitch is low for ball 4, so Herzog walks, leadoff base runner for the Beacons here in the second.
And after Southern Maine losing 2 in a row to start the postseason in the LEC tournament, they just weren't good enough to get the bid, according to NCAA.
Here comes Luke Nagle, senior, hit 700 in 3 games last week, and he's now hitting .378 on the season. Pitch away for a ball. Nagle made his first start in left field back on April 11th against Salem State. It was his first time playing outfield at the college level, and he very quickly adapted to that role, and because he's hit so well, it's been hard to take him out of the lineup.
Yeah, you can't take him out, especially because he's a senior captain. He's played himself into the role, kept on hitting, and that's what he's done. He plays a decent left field, a little help with the monster out there on left at home, which helps out the Beacons again. But he's been doing so well. You could see on the right side of your screen right now, I was saying this for Fowler too, the hole on the right side between the first baseman and the second baseman is massive because defense has to hold the runner on and play double play depth.
Since he moved into that outfield spot, the Beacons have gone 13-2, and here a professional at bat. He works the walk, laying off a couple of close pitches, and there are 2 on, nobody out. Seems like a good bunting situation with Anthony Searles coming to the plate.
Yeah, it could be a fake bunt at first because the pitcher's been struggling with the strike zone, but you'd like to see Searles get down the bunt with 1 strike if Coach Agerbro puts it on.
Searles is senior captain out of Shelton, Connecticut, Notre Dame High School in Connecticut. So back-to-back walks to start the inning after Oriola struck out 3 in the first. Searles showing bunt, pulls back, and takes a called ball. It just missed inside. At this point, taking until you see Oriola throw a strike?
Absolutely. Hopefully he pulls back the bunt. Coach put on a fake bunt. Like to see.
Pulls back and takes a called strike on the inside corner. Boy, that one looked a little further in than the last one, which was called a ball.
Not only was that in, that was up as well, I thought.
Ball and a strike to Anthony Searles. Now, you think he's probably bunting for real here?
I hope so.
Looking to play small ball and move in front. He does show bunt. And he lays it down beautifully down the third base line toward the pitcher, Oriola. That throw up the line just got Searles. Well done on that sacrifice score at 1-4 as Herzog takes third and Nagle takes second.
It was a great bunt by Searles with the first baseman crashing so hard. He's got to get that out and have the pitcher field it, which he ended up doing. Almost was credited with a base hit, almost beat that out, but just a step too slow as a catcher.
Brings up Sal Frashino. Again, that's another reason why Anthony Searles is a captain there. He does all those little things and the fundamental things right to lead by example for the group. 244 hitter Sal Frashino, Jr. has a home run and 8 RBIs.
Endicott looking for the suicide squeeze right there with pick off to third base.
No sign of it from Frashino. First pitch slides in. Good block from the catcher, Hunter Boyce, to keep Herzog on third and Nagle on second. They both walked. They were moved into scoring position by Searles' bunt. Beacons looking to break the ice in the bottom of the second inning here at Monin Park. Fastball buzzes the corner and the count moves to 1-1. Joseph Oriola's pitch for Shino bunting. It was a safety squeeze as he comes up empty. And that's fortunate because Herzog's able to scamper back to third. So now ball and 2 strikes to Frashino. Infield is back up the middle, so even a ground ball could do the job to get the Beacons on top. On 1-2, he swings through a fastball, and Joseph Oriola racks up his 4th strikeout.
Puts a lot of pressure on Charlie Hugie to get at least one of these next 2 runs in.
Hugie will hit with 2 outs. .237 average this year, but he has come through with some big hits. Home run and 19 RBIs this season from deep in the order.
Yeah, as a 9-hitter, you don't often see 19 RBIs, which is more than half of what Fowler's got in the 4-hole. So it's impressive by Hugie to produce.
Hugie, a sophomore out of Sandy Hook, Connecticut. Went to Newtown High School. 1-0 delivery. It's a high and inside fastball to Hugie as the count goes to 2-0. And last year he was a utility guy for the Beacons, ended up playing a lot of first base as the season went along. This year with Dave Murphy's injury, he has moved into that shortstop role. Fastball buzzes in for a ball. So it's ball 3 with Josh Lopez, who's been scorching hot, waiting on deck.
Yeah, he's definitely getting the take sign here.
And he takes high, ball 4. 3rd walk of the inning for Joseph Oriola. So far, all the damage this inning has been self-inflicted. Only ball that's been put in play was the sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, you like to see Lopez be a little more patient at the plate this at-bat. He chased a slider to strike out last at-bat after taking 2 fastballs. Like to see him succeed right here.
Lopez, a .413 hitter on the year. First pitch swinging, fouls it away. Struck out in that first at-bat. Chased a slider with 2 strikes that dove out of the zone. Oriola to the plate. Curveball popped up right side of the infield. This should get Endicott College out of the inning, and Chris Seidel puts it away for the 3rd out. So the Beacons use 3 walks to load the bases with 1 out, but can't push any of the runs across. We'll move to the 3rd, still scoreless on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
We move to Monin Park, inning number 3. It's Josh Gerson back on the mound for the Beacons. Both teams have had their chances early in a scoreless matchup between UMass Boston and Endicott College with Steve Consiglio. I'm Bill Spalding. Beacons leave them loaded in the bottom of the 2nd. They've left 4 on base over 2 innings, including 3 in scoring position. Endicott College left a runner on in the 1st and left a runner on 3rd base in the 2nd after a Steve Morganelli 1-out triple couldn't get him home. So that's why we sit 0-0 here heading into the 3rd. And when you have 2 good teams and 2 hot teams, generally the game's just decided by who can come through with those clutch hits, and so far neither team has.
Yeah, right now the pitching staff for both teams has worked out of a couple jams. Gerson worked out of an inning with a man on third, well less than 2 outs, and as we saw there, Endicott worked out of an inning with less than 2 outs, man on second and third.
Senior center fielder Cam Farnham leads off the inning. Farnham, the 9-hole hitter for Endicott College. Then it turns over to DiDonato and Coaches. Showing bunt, pulls back, and takes a ball. Farnham out of Andover, Massachusetts, and Andover High School. This is his 22nd game of the season. He's hitting .244 with 2 RBIs. 1-0. That's a strike on the inside corner. Endicott has a deep roster, and they've played a ton of guys at positions so far this season. .22 different position players have played this year for Endicott. This ball's fouled back over the top of our press box behind home plate to move the count to 1-2. Endicott's played 37 games, and only 2 players have played all 37. DiDonato and Coaches. Mentioned Michael Cassiano is not in the game today. He's out for only the 2nd time this season, a .325 hitter. 1-2, popped up, very shallow center field. That should be playable in the infield for the shortstop, Hugie. Sky-high pop-up, Gerson retires as leadoff man. What have you thought about Josh Gerson, first time through the order, allowing just a couple of hits?
He's thrown a lot of breaking balls, almost 45, 50% sliders. I'd like to see him go back to his fastball and live on the corners a little bit the second time through.
Michael DiDonato reached on an error on a pop-up that slipped out of Chris Fowler's glove to start the game. Swings through that pitch on the inside part of the plate.
And he goes right back to the slider.
Yep. Another one of those front door or backup sliders. He's worked inside against the right-handers. 0-1 slides away and it's fouled back. Wait, DiDonato is right on top of the plate inside that batter's box, which can be dangerous for Gerson's running fastball. Toes basically on the white line of the batter's box for DiDonato. 0-2. Pounds it into the ground, just foul left of third. Michael DiDonato is hitting in his 128th at bat of the season. Good bat control, 74 total bases. Doesn't strike out all that much. Strikes out about once every 7 at bats. Gerson will step off the rubber and have Searles come out to chat with him as they figure out what the magic pitch will be to put away DiDonato. Michael DiDonato Jr. from Chelmsford, Mass. His dad played baseball at Boston College. Michael's had a great career. He was second team All-CCC last year. Also, All-CC academic, high inside fastball. DiDonato spends a lot of his free time at Endicott College as part of the school's investment club, and this summer he'll intern with powerhouse company PricewaterhouseCoopers here in Boston. 1-2 delivery. Ground ball foul left of third. So the count holds at 1-2 in DiDonato. Hit .333 last year. He's right on that number again this season. Gerson's delivery. Again fouled away. DiDonato looking like that pesky leadoff hitter here, fouling away pitch after pitch.
Great at bat here. He's seen about 6 or 7 pitches. The count's still 1-2. Good job by Gerson, though. Keep throwing strikes.
This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. And here it comes from Gerson. Looped left field, falling quickly, and the shortstop, Hugie, backpedals out to get it. Off the bat, looked like it might be one of those Texas leaguers that falls over the top, but instead, 2 away.
Yeah, I thought that was falling in the Bermuda Triangle between Nagle, Hugie, and in center field, Sal.
So 2 down. Mike Kochis, 400 hitter, will bat. Kochis singled back in the first to continue his tremendous season. First pitch breaking ball once more. That the slower sweeping curveball for strike 1. Oh, 1 to Kochis. Breaks away as well. Senior from Fairfield, Connecticut. He's another finance major on this Endicott College team, plus a computer science minor at Endicott.
That's one thing I could never do. I was never a good coder.
1-1 delivery. Popped up foul. Kochis was a first-team All-Region player last year. Hit .410, 3 home runs, 44 RBIs. This season, that average right up in that area code again. He's already matched his home run tally, though his RBIs do lag slightly behind with 27. 1-2 from Gerson. Went with the fastball and was just off the plate. And at this point, the fastball's almost the change of speed pitch here because he's thrown so many breaking balls.
Yeah, and the most important thing, he has been hanging the curveball, slider, whatever it is.
2-2 breaking ball. Lined at third and snagged by Boudris. Hard hit by Mike Kochis, but Kyle Boudris puts it away. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Josh Gerson. So we'll move to the bottom of the third here in Boston. Still scoreless.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
At Monin Park in Boston, no scores. We go to the bottom of the third with Steve Consiglio. I'm Bill Spalding. Let's take a look around Beaconville, and it is playoff time, so baseball wraps up its regular season this week, but softball will start its conference tournament action tomorrow, heading to Western Connecticut State, 4 p.m. tomorrow. Men's tennis will host a Little East semifinal on Thursday, and men's lacrosse will host a Little East semifinal on Thursday as well. It was a tough break for softball. Had to get through coin flips in the tiebreakers, and they lost the coin flips. Could have been anywhere from the 1 seed to the 4 seed, and ended up 4th. Dan Mantoni's second time up at the plate. He fouls the first pitch back. Mantoni struck out in the first. Joseph Oriola has struck out 4. He's also walked 3 and allowed 1 hit, but he stranded all 4 Beacons base runners on base. Mantoni hammers this one to left toward the monster. Hyde going back, and he makes the catch. Boy, that looked good off the bat, but Corbin Hyde was out there and left, and it died for him just in front of the wall, 1 down.
Yeah, Mantoni just didn't get enough of that. Not enough barrel. Could have got it closer at the end of the bat. Just didn't have enough to get over Corbin Hyde's head.
Wind was blowing in earlier today. At this point, though, there's not very much breeze at all. The flags are basically steady in center. Kyle Boudris hammers this ball hard to second. DiDonato on 1 hop. Fields. There's 2 away. 2 of the best hit balls by the Beacons so far today, yet they lead to outs. Boudris has really stung at both at bats. Remember, he had that deep double his first time through.
Yeah, it's just tough one. Quick pitches by, wow, off. Good pitches by pitcher from Endicott, and just not enough on them from the Beacons bats.
Running fastball from Oriola misses outside to Chris Fowler. Struck out in his first at bat. Fowler's hitting 26 straight. Foul tips this one back, and it brings the count to 1-1. Chris Fowler, a junior on this Beacon squad. Watches this one coming in just a little bit low. Fowler in his second year with the Beacons after transferring from Wheaton College. This is a Cape Cod versus Cape Cod matchup here. Oriola from Sandwich and Fowler from Barnstable as he fouls this ball back to the screen.
I'm sure they've seen each other before in the past.
be it in a Babe Ruth or a summer ball or some type of high school matchup along the way. Are separated by a couple years in terms of age, but still likely the crossover. 2-2 is low, so the count goes full. How often throughout your time playing at UMass Boston did you see somebody on the other way that you had seen, be it through high school or Legion Ball or something like that?
More than you think. I mean, I mostly remember the kids I played with at high school, one being Matt Paola at Endicott. Yep. Saw him every year. And then there was a couple in the conference. WestCon had Nick Delato. Dartmouth, kid that I knew, Taylor Cacciola, and a couple other here and there.
So Fowler walks on 6 pitches. It's already the 4th walk for Oriola. And brings up Nick Herzog, who walked back in the 2nd. Herzog watches ball 1. Herzog was stranded on 3rd base when the Beacons left the bases loaded last inning. Had him loaded with just 1 down. But Oriola got a strikeout and a flyout to end the inning. Herzog sprays this one right field. Long run for Morganelli toward the line. It's down in front of him. Base hit for Herzog. Fowler takes 3rd. Isn't baseball a silly game? You have Mantoni and Boudreaux scorch outs, and then Herzog drops a flare in for a base hit.
Got a little help from the wind as the ball was blown away from the right fielder for Endicott.
Runners on the corners, 2 away, and it brings up Luke Nagle, who also walked in his first at-bat. Nagle coming off a 7 for 10 week last week. The Beacons have been mashing the ball lately, averaging about 8 runs per game during this 7-game win streak. Fastball up and away for ball 1. Both these teams have won 7 in a row. Beacons have won their 7 games by an average of 8-1, outscoring their opponents 56-8 in the 7-game win streak.
Yeah, that's not only good hitting, that's good pitching overall.
Runner going from first. This is sprayed foul by Nagle. Herzog has stolen 8 bases this season. He's yet to be caught stealing. So he was looking for number 9 there.
Could have been a hit and run put on by Coach Agerbro as Luke Nagle was trying to put that ball on the ground as she showed after the swing.
Game tied at 0, bottom 3. Beacons have 2 on again. Fake to 3rd from Oriola to see if Herzog was thinking about running again. Pitch coming. Fisted toward 3rd. That's off the bag. A fair ball, and it'll score a run. Infield single for Luke Nagle as Fowler comes home.
When you're hot, you're hot. It's the only way to put it.
7th RBI for Luke Nagle as it just skipped away from the 3rd baseman Deutsch when it hit the front of the bag. And again, Beacons hit 2 line drives that lead to outs to start the inning. 2 fluky base hits to get him on the board here at the end of the inning.
Line drive in the books, Bill. Line drive in the books.
Brings up Anthony Searles. Sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd inning. Searles takes up and in. Well, Oriola has hurt himself with the walks. 4 walks now over 2 2/3, and it is Fowler who walked with 2 outs. That scores the game's first run. Close play on that snap over to first, but Nagle's back in. Searles watches a called strike. Outside corner brings the count to 1-1. So far it does seem like strike zone goes a good bit up, so something the batters will have to adjust to throughout the course of the game.
Hey, I can't complain as long as he's consistent for both teams the whole game.
Runners going on a double steal. Snap throw to 3rd. No, it's safe. Close play and Herzog's in. Nagle takes 2nd on that risky double steal. And that'll lead Brian Haley, an Endicott alum who's the current head coach, to come out to talk with our base umpire on that bang-bang play. Joseph Deutsch was looking to put the tag down from Hunter Boyce. It was very close over there at 3rd. Now 2 in scoring position. 2-1 to Searles. High and inside. It's ball 3. Looks like there's some movement now in the Endicott bullpen as the 3-1 is waved at to run the count full. Right-handed pitcher loosening now in that Endicott pen. Payoff pitch. Foul back. Now, Oriole hasn't been hit very hard, but the 4 walks have hurt him. 3 base hits for the Beacons over the first 3 innings. Here's a 3-2 delivery. Foul back again. Good at bat from Searles here, who will see a 7th pitch. Searles watches ball 4. It's the 5th walk for Arriola. A 7-pitch at bat, and the bags are packed for the 2nd straight inning for the Beacons.
Yeah, and Sal's looking for some revenge. He struck out last inning with less than 2, with a 1-out runner on 3rd, which you like to score almost 90% of the time.
He struck out, and then Josh Lopez popped out to end that inning. Frashino here with 8 RBIs so far this season. Oriola starts with ball 1 just off the plate.
Now, third baseman is in on the, I almost said grass, but it's turf, in on the cut in the turf.
Frashino skies it right center field. Wind holds it up as Morganelli moves into the gap and puts it away for out number 3. So again, the Beacons leave the bases loaded, but they do get 1 on the board. RBI infield single for Luke Nagle has the Beacons ahead 1-0.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
We move to the top of the 4th here at Moden Park, and for the first time, UMass Boston pitcher Josh Gerson will have a lead to work with. 1-0 Beacons. Gerson's pitched through 3 innings, giving up just 2 hits so far, and he hasn't walked anybody, so he's been very accurate right at the plate, and in a first game of a 5-game in 4-day stretch. This is just what you want from your starting pitcher. Keep the game moving, throw a lot of strikes, and let the defense go to work behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to eat up as many innings as he can. He's kept his pitch count relatively low, probably around the 45, 50, as I get the exact number. 50. He's at 50 pitches after 3 innings. It's all right, but he's got to see if he can get through 6 innings, really bear down, keep throwing that slider if it keeps working.
Now the one positive about a week like this is, if anything, it's a good dress rehearsal for next week in the conference tournament. So many games in such a short stint of time, and the Beacons really do seem built as a pitching staff for that this year. They're as deep as could be with 5 or 6 different guys who you can trust to start a game. You got rubber arms in the bullpen like Bobby Tramondosi as well, and a pitching staff with a team ERA of 3.00.
Even after losing their number 2 starter, JT Morin, Beacons still have the pitching staff to go deep in this tournament, even make the regional tournament, do well there. They have experience now in the regional tournament. They got guys that want it. So their outlook's pretty good in the future.
Anthony Serena leads off for Endicott College with the goals trailing 1-0. Ground ball to short. Hughie knocks it down, throws on one hop. Fowler digs it out, and there's out number 1. Good scoop from Chris Fowler, and Charlie Hughie's stick-to-itiveness combined to make it bases empty, 1 away for Corbin Hyde.
The left fielder, number 25, Corbin Hyde.
Corbin Hyde grounded to second back in the first. Grad student batting in the cleanup role. Pitch from Gerson, skipped way inside and got past everybody. One nothing Beacon scored the run in the bottom of the third on an infield single by Luke Nagle that brought home Chris Fowler. Bender is wide. 2-ball, no strike count. Two-0 offering up and away for ball 3. Monin Park always beautiful, particularly under the lights. The Fenway replica in its second year, and I say that apartment building out in center should charge extra for the window units that look out toward the field. There's ball 4 from Gerson. On 4 pitches, he issues his first walk of the day. Steve, you obviously had the opportunity to play first few years down in Brockton, then as a senior experience this Monin Park and having the ballpark right here. What kind of difference did that make for the team and allowing them to have the success they did last year and now building forward?
Now, don't get me wrong. I did enjoy Brockton. It was a nice field, great stadium, just always fun to go to, but at the same time, it's nothing like having a stadium on campus. You know, it's beautiful. You get to come here at turf every day. You're playing no matter what. You know, last year in the LEC tournament, we played through some downpour and rain, and it's just awesome because you always got something to look forward to. You got class, and you walk over to the field, and nothing beats a day like that.
Chris Seidel, the batter now. I would guess the only negative about this turf field is that you couldn't find a way to get a practice canceled from time to time in all those tough conditions because this field holds the water, holds the snow, holds the sleet, holds anything else that can come out of the sky in March.
Yeah, I mean, March is always tough, but you can always shovel the snow off. You know, you always want to practice even if it's a little chilly out, a little windy. Get out here as soon as possible.
Gerson's 0-1 to Chris Seidel upcoming. Here it is. Fouled away. Still sticking predominantly with that breaking ball as his first pitch.
Yeah, he's been throwing it more than 50% of the time.
As a batter, do you start to go up looking for that breaking ball now, knowing that you're seeing it so frequently?
Now, I was never much of a hitter, but at the same time, I'd be sitting on the breaking ball, seeing if I could hit that in the right center gap, even down the right field line.
0-2, breaking ball into right center and down just in front of Nick Herzog. Well, if you weren't much of a hitter, you could at least make yourself a hitting coach there as Chris Seidel singles. Runners on first and second, one down. Endicott looking to score for the first time today and possibly level this game.
Yeah, Gerson's got to look to keep that slider down, see if he can get a double play with his stellar middle infield.
Ground ball hit to short, could be 2, and it gets underneath Hughie's glove into center. Here comes the base runner Hyde around third. Frascinos throws late. It's an RBI single for Steve Morganelli, and the game's all square at 1.
Now Sal's got to be a little smarter there. He knows he's got no play at the plate. Runner moving quickly, already rounding third by the time he picked up the baseball. He's got to keep that throw down and hit the cutoff man.
The third baseman, number 13, Joseph Deutsch.
2 on, just 1 away. 1-1 score, top 4. Two teams that both sit in second place in their respective conferences and both ride 7-game win streaks coming into this Monday night matchup. Gerson checks the runner back as Joseph Deutsch digs in. Deutsch is the only goal to go down on strikes so far today, striking out with a runner on third back in the second. Ground ball hit to third, knocked down by Boudris. His only play to first, it's a second out. But that may have been tailor-made for 2. Instead, Seidel takes third, and Morganelli moves to second.
After making the mistake, physical mistake, Boudris was smart, picked up the ball, just went to first base. Didn't try and force any double play, just take the out when you can.
With 2 away, brings up Boyce. Hunter Boyce, catcher, junior. Flew out to right back in the second. There's a slider that clips the outside corner for a called first strike. Just caught the corner while taking that left turn toward the other batter's box. Not much you can really do with that pitch as a hitter.
No, I think the best you could do is foul it off.
Gerson trying to keep this game level. 0-1. Waved at and missed. He's up in the count 0-2 on junior Hunter Boyce. Here comes the offering. Down and away. A walk and 2 singles this inning for Endicott College to push across the goal's first run today. Josh Gerson in his 4th inning of work of his 3rd career collegiate start. 1-2. Curveball. A little bit low, and the count inches to 2-2. Big moment in the early portion of this game. Curveball called, strike 3. In through the front door again. Big strikeout for Josh Gerson to strand 2 more in scoring position. There have been runners left on base galore so far today. Endicott College does get its first run of the day, so it's 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's when it was.
4th inning of work for Joseph Oriola. It's a 1-1 game, and it stayed that way thanks to a big strikeout from Josh Gerson for the Beacons to end the last inning. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. How about that sweet little hook to catch the corner?
Yeah, Billy's been throwing that pitch more and more each inning. You know, it's been his go-to, and why not? He's getting outs with it. Not solid contact. And let's see how it turns out down the stretch.
9-hole hitter Charlie Hughes swings late on a fastball. Really 2 polar opposites for our pitchers today, Steve. You have Gerson relying on the breaking ball, Oriola relying on that plus 80s fastball. But there he drops in a pretty nice hook to get ahead 0-2.
Yeah, fooled Hughes there. It almost buckled his knees. He just wasn't ready for it.
0-2, fastball off the plate, and it moves the count to 1-2.
Hughes got to be aware of that fastball up that Oriola has been going to lately.
4 strikeouts today for Oriola. They came in the first 2 innings. There's strikeout number 5, and he went to the fastball. You're going to start telling me the lottery ticket numbers for tonight because you have predicted 4 or 5 plays over the last couple innings.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky.
Now, Joseph Oriola has struck out 5. He's also walked 5 so far today. He had only walked 16 through his first 40 innings of his college career, but 5 walks today through 3 1/3. Delivers a ball outside to Lopez. Leadoff man Josh Lopez 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a pop out. Hits this hard to short on 2 hops. Lochis, great throw, and Mike Kochis' throw across is right in time. Tough hop to Mike Cochis, but he handled it well. 2 quick outs. Remember, the Beacons went down quick in the third, the first 2 batters, but then rattled off 4 straight runners reaching to score a run. See if they can do it with 2 again as Dan Mantoni bats. Slider stayed high. Mantoni, .323 hitter on the season, but 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. Watches that clip the corner to bring the count to 1-1. Of course, that flyout back in the third was hit pretty well back toward the warning track and left. Lines this one center field, falling quickly. It is down in front of Cam Farnham. Busted Mantoni a little bit inside, but the big guy was able to muscle it out to center field.
Now, not only does that give Mantoni a hit there, but it buys Gerson, the Beacons pitcher, a few more minutes to sit down, really relax, gather himself before he goes out to the mound next inning.
Stretches things along for Kyle Boudreaux, who has smoked the ball in both his at-bats. In his first at-bat, a double to dead center. In his second at-bat, a rocket shot that was snagged by DiDonato at second. Great block by the catcher, Hunter Boyce, behind the plate. Keeps Mantoni at first and out of scoring position. Kyle Boudreaux hitting at .384 this season. Sophomore from Medford, Mass. Was a second-team All-Little East player last year in his freshman season. Good pitch, knee level. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And we saw it in the first inning. What makes Kyle so good is he can take any fastball and he can deposit it right in that left center gap. Gap-to-gap hitter, hits a lot of doubles.
And no home runs in his career, but so many doubles. He is such a good line drive hitter. Rolls this one over to second. DiDonato's flip to first is in plenty of time. Very quick bottom of the 4th inning moves us to the 5th, still tied at 1 on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
UMass Boston is my first choice because of the incredible theater department.
Because it has an excellent honors college.
Because here I get to interact with professors one-on-one.
Because I'm not going to be crazy in debt when I graduate.
Because at UMass Boston, I've met professors who have changed my life.
My first choice.
My first choice.
My first choice.
My first choice.
Make the University of Massachusetts Boston your first choice. Visit umb.edu/first choice.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
To the 5th inning at Monin Park here on the campus of UMass Boston. Sandwich right between UMass Boston and BC High with former Beacon Steve Consiglio. Bill Spalding, glad to be with you. 1-1 game between Endicott College and regionally ranked UMass Boston. Pitcher for the Beaks, Josh Gerson, works into his 5th inning. And it's only the 3rd start for Gerson, who'd pitched 5 games out of the bullpen. He'd only pitched 15 total innings over his 7 games, so if you could sign for 5 innings at the start of the day, you'd have to think Brandon Eichenbrot would have taken that. And now you're 3 outs away from Gerson getting through that 5th inning.
Yeah, I mean, Gerson's really been a big pitcher for the Beacons here and there. He's never really had a consistent starting spot, but when his number's been called, he's been doing well.
Came in with an ERA of 2.30, 1 run allowed over 4 innings. Keeps the ERA right about at that mark here so far today, and Cam Farnham will lead things off for Endicott College. Goals 22 and 15, and just like the Beacons, they have won 7 consecutive games. Farnham popped out to short in his first at bat, and he takes ball 1 here. Both runs that have been scored today, the one for the Beacons and the one for Endicott College, have scored thanks to a walk. The runner crossing the plate, reach base via the walk for both sides. 1-0, down low, and Steve, as a pitcher, I'm sure you've heard that millions of times from your pitching coaches. The walks that always come back to bite you.
Yeah, and as Gerson gets 2-0 on the leadoff batter, you never want to walk the leadoff guy.
Especially in the 9-hole. 2-0, splits the plate in half. That high overhead shot you see before each pitch shows you kind of how eerie it is tonight. Look at those low fog clouds sliding through underneath the lights here at Monin Park on a much more March-like than May-like day. Ground ball to second. Lopez easy does it. Over to first for out one. So Gerson bounces back from 2-0 down to get the leadoff batter, Cam Farnham.
And that was one of the first couple ground balls Gerson's got today. Now he should be getting a couple more with that two-seam fastball. It comes in on the right-handed batters away from the left. It's hard to barrel up. Usually turns into a lot of ground balls, but he's been depending on his slider, so there's more strikeouts, more fly balls today.
Michael DiDonato is 0 for 2, reached on an error and popped out to shortstop. 333 hitter at the top of the order, first pitch swinging. There's another ground ball thanks to the running fastball. The throw from Boudris just in time. So now third time through the order, we're seeing a few more fastballs from Josh Gerson.
Yeah, you got to sneak that first pitch strike in there somehow, and clearly these hitters been sitting on that slider a little bit.
So now it's Mike Kochis, 1 for 2. He singled in the first. He smoked a line drive right at third baseman Kyle Boudris in the third. Fouls this right back toward us. Hey, we got a net and some glass in front of us, Steve. Don't need to jump out of the way.
I wasn't
Come
jumping
on.
out of the way. I was going to catch it.
Okay, okay. Bring your glove to work day today.
I wish. I used to be an athlete.
The 0-1 up high for a ball. It brings the count to 1-1 on Kochis.
I was a pitcher. As I get the way.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some people.
I
I think pitchers are athletes too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ball and a strike.
Seth Orensky, former track star in high school.
1 ball, 2 strike count now to Mike Kochis. Strong senior for this Endicott College squad. He's twice been an all-conference selection. 1-2. Fights it foul. So he's doing what you've said is all you really can do with that slider when it's thrown well. A couple times diving to the outside part of the plate. He's just flared it off into foul territory.
Yeah, there's not much else you could do with that pitch. And you could see little crowd of the plate from the batter right here, just so to make sure he covers both edges as Gerson tries to come inside.
Gerson delivers a fastball low. So now it's a 2-2 count with 2 down. Gerson's retired the last 4 he's faced. Looking to make his way through the 5th inning here in a 1-1 game. Lined hard and foul. Boy, when Kochis has gotten a fastball, he has squared it up. Now 3 consecutive at-bats.
Yeah, you're going to want to stick with the slider against this guy. He's not hitting 400 for no reason.
Barrels the ball up with pretty good consistency, that's for sure. Inside fastball buzzes him back from the plate. Now it's 3-2. Kochis, an all-state player in Connecticut, as a high school senior at Fairfield Ludlow. Payoff 3-2. Another breaking ball, and he spoils it. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming to Kochis. So the 2 guys at the top of the order, DiDonato and Kochis, who are the bell cows for this Endicott squad, have each had at least 1 7-pitch at-bat today. Josh Gerson's 8th pitch. Hit in the air, deep left field, has a lot of juice on it, but Frashino has a beat on it and puts it away to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 for Josh Gerson, who's made it through 5 innings, scattering just the 4 hits and 1 run. Midway through this game, it's all square at 1 on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed.
Kyle Strowski from Agawam, Massachusetts. I'm a senior here at UMass Boston. I'm a marketing major. Probably have to say my favorite moment was my no-hitter my freshman year. Being a freshman, especially just making a statement right away. Seeing the reactions on the seniors' faces. It was something that was a lot of fun to be a part of. If you want to play and you want to compete for championship every year, definitely UMass Boston is a good place to come look at.
And now, this one's launched, right center field. That's going to win the game for the Beacons. It is down.
LEC is probably best division in college D3 baseball in the country. Play against the top competition every year. I think we have a top 10 schedule in the country this year. So we're young, but we also mix in with a good group of junior college transfers. Being on the baseball team here at UMass is a good experience, great experience. Only about 2% of people can play college baseball, and one that I'll take for me for the rest of my life.
Kyle Fields fires the first great scoop from Jason Schoen.
Back in Monin Park, bottom of the 5th. Chris Fowler leads things off in inning 5, 0 for 1 with a walk so far today. Hammers this ball deep center field. Farnham going back, still on the run, and that's down. Chris Fowler's hit streak extends to 27 as he churns for third. It's a triple for Chris Fowler. 27 straight games with a hit.
Hey, one more, and he's halfway to 56.
So you've got the math down there. Yep.
Math major.
27 games in a row with a hit. At this point, Beacons have played 34 games in the season. He's on third, nobody out. Nick Herzog batting. Pitch low for a ball. By the way, give Cam Farnham credit because he nearly ran that ball down, got his glove on it in center field on a deep fly to center.
Yeah, lucky for Fowler, the wind's died down lately. Not blowing in like it was before. That could have turned into just an F8.
Fastball, a strike. 1-1 to Herzog, who walked in the second, singled in the third, was stranded on third base both times. Another one of those front door sliders, first that we've seen from Oriola. That's been a trademark for Gerson so far today.
For all you doubters, Seth Orensky actually ran the 3,200 in high school. And on top of that, he ran a 557 mile.
Ball sprayed foul. Count stays at 1-2. I'm sure the folks at home were dying to know what Seth was doing back in the day.
Hey, that's faster than me. I give him that.
1-2. Ground ball hit to third. Sliding play. Deutsch checks the runner back and makes the throw. Well done by Joseph Deutsch, and with nobody out, Chris Fowler wasn't going to take a risk heading home there.
Yeah, it was a great play by Deutsch at third. Not only does he lay out, he gets back up, he checks the runner first. Fowler makes sure he's not going home so they don't go behind 2-1. He throws Herzog a pretty quick runner out at first base.
Brings up Luke Nagle, who has walked and singled today. Nagle is now 8 for his last 11. Drove in a run with that infield single, grounding a ball off the third base bag back in the third. By the way, you're not doing yourself any service about whether you're an athlete or not by admitting that Seth was faster than you.
Hey, he's not anymore. He was. As he mouths down on a sandwich.
0-1 is high and moves the count to 1-1.
Actually, I might just do play-by-play on Seth Orensky. You can do the baseball game.
1-1 pitch from Joseph Oriola is a breaking ball to the outside corner. Moves the count to 2-1. Oriola's fastball fouled back 2-2 to the senior Nagle. Key cog in the Beacons' resurgence lately. Again, they've won 11 of 13 and 7 in a row since Nagle made the move to start at left field. Hits the 2-2 right at the shortstop with the infield drawn in. Good play by Coaches, who froze the runner and beats Nagle across. So Fowler's been stranded on third for back-to-back batters on a pair of ground balls.
Yeah, if Searles doesn't come through here, Coach Agerbrook will not be happy.
1-1 game, bottom 5. Way these teams are pitching might only take another run or two to decide this one. Anthony Searles does not have an official at bat today. A sac, bunt, and a walk. Takes ball 1. 1-0 inside. It hits Searles. Got away from Oriola, so now 5 walks and it hits batsman for Oriola. Runners on the corners for Frashino. Even though Anthony Searles is only batting 167 this year, he has walked 28 times. He's now been hit by a pitch 4 times. He has an on-base percentage of .360.
Yeah, he's one of the more patient hitters for the Beacons. He used to strike out a lot. Lately, not nearly as much. Clearly, he's putting the bat on the ball a lot more of late, as he was pretty unlucky in the doubleheader against Plymouth State. He was hitting a couple balls hard, finally got through with a double over the center fielder's head in his last at bat against Plymouth State.
Runners on the corners.
And we got a
pinch hitter coming up for the Beacons. UMass Boston will turn it over to Ryan McCormick, the freshman, hitting for Sal Frashino. Frashino had been 0 for 2 and twice hit with runners on third base. It's up to McCormick here to try and put the Beacons in front. Takes ball 1 from Oriola. Ryan McCormick has played in 23 games. He's hitting .267 with 11 RBIs. Late on that fastball to knock the count to 1-1. McCormick out of Cumberland, Rhode Island, and LaSalle Academy, one of the top schools in that state of Rhode Island for athletics.
Now they're not showing McCormick a lot of power respect in center field. Playing relatively shallow. Maybe to go with the wind, I'm not really sure, but McCormick's a strong kid. He might be a freshman, but he's got a lot of power to left center, even right center field.
Takes high to move a count to 2-1. If he reaches, Charlie Hughey is on deck, and the Beacons would load the bases for the 3rd time in 4 innings. That's a strike, high strike to McCormick, and the count moves to 2-2. So deuces wild here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-1 game, and runners on the corners. Ground ball spoiled, foul. McCormick fights off that pitch that may have been outside.
Great play by Bob, the third base coach.
It's the other hot corner, that third base coaching box.
Got to give a quick shout out to my softball teammate, Bob.
2-2. McCormick down the line, fair ball. Ryan McCormick comes through and the Beacons lead. Fowler scores. Searles into 3rd. McCormick slides into 2nd with an RBI go-ahead double.
Great piece of hitting by McCormick. Just a fastball in the outside corner. Didn't try and do too much. Poked it down the left field line. Ended up on second base with a run scored.
Clutch spot for the freshman, and the Beacons finally get that big 2-out hit. 2-1 UMass Boston as we play the bottom of the 5th. And we'll have a meeting on the mound for Endicott College. Already down a run and now in danger of seeing that lead grow with runners on 2nd and 3rd. You can see that low-hanging fog covering the tops of a lot of the buildings in downtown Boston today. It was kind of weird. You drove in from outside the city today. It was pretty sunny and clear. And as soon as you got within Boston proper, the fog had rolled in off the water. It was misty. It was chilly. It was a little bit eerie, and it still is today.
Well, I've been inside in the classroom for most of the day, so I can't say I've seen it. But it was warmer when I walked in around 8:30, 9 o'clock. You know, a little sun here and there. But yeah, it's turned into a pretty ugly night.
Charlie Hughey hitting in another big spot, and he takes a called strike from Oriola. 1 run home on the RBI double by Ryan McCormick. McCormick on 2nd, Searles on 3rd as Hughey watches one in the dirt. Hughey walked in the 2nd. He struck out in the 4th. Joseph Oriola just threw his 100th pitch. Pitch number 101, fouled away. So Beacons have worked Oriola pretty hard, even though they only have 2 runs to show for it. Over 100 pitches. Not even through the 5th yet. 1-2. Fly ball right field. Straight at Morganelli. And he puts it away. Beacons pick up a run to take a 2-1 lead, but strand 2 more in scoring position. UMass Boston looking to make it 8 consecutive wins. Leads by a run as we go to the 6th.
I came from a working class family. I grew up in a hard-edged section of Lowell, Massachusetts, and I lived with my 6 siblings and my parents in a 4-bedroom house that had 1 bathroom. I knew that the only way that I was going to get to where I wanted to get to was if I got a high-quality college education, and I had the University of Massachusetts right in my hometown. It made a difference. I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I think with that comes a special responsibility as a steward, as a protector. Every student that I see that walks through the door, I mean, I see myself. I was exactly where they are now. I had their same challenges, their same aspirations, their same dreams. And it makes me want to fight for them. It makes me want to make sure that they get every opportunity that I got. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Again, there's that fog in downtown Boston. On this chilly, wet night, we move back to Monin Park, where UMass Boston leads Endicott College 2-1 as we head to the 6th. Beacons have won 7 straight, as have the Gulls, and both teams sit at 2nd place in their conferences in the final week of the regular season. Josh Gerson remains in the game. He's gotten through 5 innings, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits. 1 change for UMass Boston. Danny Brown comes into center field to replace pinch hitter Ryan McCormick. So Brown will hit in the 8th spot, occupied by Sal Frascino. McCormick's pinch hit roll, a big one, driving in that 2-strike pitch with 2 outs to bring home a run and put the Beacons on top.
Leading off for Endicott in the top of the 6th inning.
Gerson only had 80 pitches as we enter the 6th inning. You know, it'd be huge if he can keep it under 10 this inning, 10-12 area, and come back out for the 7th.
And you feel at this point you're into bonus time anyway. Any further that he can go into this game really boosts the Beacons heading into a 5-game and 4-day stretch. Anthony Serena way out in front of a first pitch breaking ball. It's in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike to Serena, who flew out to right in the 1st and grounded to short in the 4th. Freshman Josh Gerson's delivery. That hits the corner. Great spot. 1-2. He's worked quickly, kept his defense engaged. Just 2 strikeouts for his opening 15 outs. Missed the spot, but the ball's fouled away. His misses, as you mentioned earlier, usually the advantage is when he misses, he doesn't miss over the middle of the plate. There he was trying to go inside, and it went outside.
Yeah, usually you see his 2-seam fastball miss into righties almost too much. He's limited it to, you know, I think he's got 1 hit by pitch on the day.
Yep.
And just impressive.
Pitch is high for a ball.
Especially with a fastball that runs that much.
In fact, it's actually no hit by pitches, just the 1 walk so far on the day. 2 ball, 2 strike count to 3-hole hitter Anthony Serena. Way up and out of the zone, so now the count's full from 0-2 to 3-2. Last thing you want after your team puts you in front is to walk the leadoff man in the following frame.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be, as we see some action in the Beacons bullpen right now.
3-2. Slider just wide for ball 4, so 4 consecutive balls. Serena's aboard. Leadoff walk.
One of them looks like Brian Kaufman, but I can't tell for sure.
The left fielder, number 25, Corbin Hyde.
Brings up Corbin Hyde. Has walked and scored. He also grounded out. So 0-for-1 on the day. Only other batter that Gerson's walked today was Hyde, so The one previous walk led to an Endicott run. Endicott scored a run to answer the Beacons. The last time UMass Boston took a lead in the bottom of the third, Endicott scored its run in the fourth. Beacons went back ahead in the bottom of the fifth, and here we are now in the top of the sixth.
Now Endicott having that many steals on the year. Gerson's being very aware of that runner on first base, make sure he doesn't get a good jump.
Slider dives low for ball one. Two-one Beacons. Endicott here in town, the first game in a 5-game and 4-day stretch. Goals second place in the Commonwealth Coast Conference right now. Beacons second place in the Little East Conference. UMass Boston will take on the number 1 team in the Commonwealth Coast Conference and a team that's currently ranked. The Salve Regina squad will come here tomorrow for a 7:15 p.m. first pitch. Another check over at first, and Serena is back in safely. And Endicott loves to run. They've stolen 73 bases as a team. Serena has 5 steals on 9 tries so far in 33 games this season. Not running. Pitch way out of the zone. After Gerson had been locked in throughout the course of the game. Jumped out to an 0-2 count on Serena. He's thrown 6 consecutive balls since. And that'll lead to a visit at the mound. So that action in the UMass Boston bullpen, it looks like at least one of the two out there is Joe Mcguire, who's been so strong out of the pen this season. 1-1 record, 1.71 ERA. And there will be a pitching change for the Beacons. So UMass Boston makes a change. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the new pitcher. And we will have more baseball. 2-1 game. Close game here at Monin Park.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Joe Mcguire is the new pitcher for UMass Boston after Josh Gerson goes 5+ innings. He gives up 4 hits. He walks 2. He strikes out 2. Right now he's responsible for 1 earned run, but he's also responsible for the runner on first. Interesting situation for Mcguire here, the sophomore from Peabody, Massachusetts, and Peabody Veterans High School. He comes in with a 2-0 count, but he's been able to deal with tough situations so far this season, putting together an outstanding year out of the bullpen. 11 appearances, a 1-1 record, a 1.71 ERA. He does have a save to his name this season. He's pitched 21 innings, given up just 18 hits. Only 4 earned runs allowed, and he has walked just 5 while striking out 11. So he throws a lot of strikes, only 5 walks in 21 innings. And in this situation, that's what the Beacons are looking for with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Joe's one of the Beacons' big 3 of the bullpen. The other 2 being Brian Kaufman and Bobby Tremendozzi. They've all mowed people down. They have ERAs under 2, which is extremely impressive.
Kaufman's pitched in 12 games. Tremendozzi has pitched in 16 games. This will be game number 12 for Mcguire. And the other thing that's really a big help with these relievers is all of them have the ability to throw 2, 3, even 4 innings if need be. Mcguire's thrown 21 innings in 11 appearances. Kaufman's gone 39 innings in 12 appearances. And Tremendozzi's gone 23 1/3 in 16 appearances.
Yeah, perfect world for Coach Aguilar right now is Joe Mcguire goes 3 innings at no-run baseball, and then Bobby Tremendozzi comes in for the close.
2-0 to Corbin Hyde. First pitch from Mcguire brings the count to 2-1. Now, it's a somewhat unique situation when you come in down in the count 2-0. How do you mentally get yourself to start in a situation like that?
Honestly, you don't even think about it. You just see where Searles calls a pitch, try and hit your spot. You know, you always want to stay in the zone, especially to the first batter you face. Now he's in a weird situation, 3-1 after only throwing 2 pitches. Now he has to throw a fastball for a strike here.
Here comes that 3-1. Fastball hit hard right field. It's a base hit. Corbin Hyde has the 5th hit of the day for the Goals. Two on and nobody out. So things cooking a little bit for Endicott here at the start of the 6th with the Beacons leading 2-1. Chris Seidel steps in, sophomore from Drake, Massachusetts. Seidel singled in the 4th. He grounded out to short in the 2nd. Mcguire would sign up for one of those ground balls to the shortstop right now. Chance for the Beacons to turn 2.
Beacons are expecting a bunt, putting on a play right now.
Does seem like a tailor-made bunting situation. Could bunt the tying run to 3rd. Go-ahead run to 2nd with only 1 out.
Beacons may look to get the lead runner here.
Seidel squares. It's a good bunt on a pitch that almost hit him. Quick throw from Fowler into 3rd. Safe is the call.
Boudreaux did not have his foot on the bag.
That's the call from the base umpire that Boudreaux was off the bag. Otherwise, the throw would have beat him. So, Serena to 3rd, Hyde to 2nd. It's a sacrifice and a fielder's choice for Chris Seidel that allows him to reach.
And here comes a pressure situation for Joe Mcguire.
Yeah, bases loaded, nobody out. Beacons ahead 2-1, but hanging by a thread here. Steve Morganelli is 2 for 2 today, an RBI single and a triple. UMass Boston will play for 2 up the middle. The corners come in. Slider down and away from Mcguire. (1-0) into the dirt for a ball. It's 2-0. Yeah. 2-ball, no strike count. Catcher Searles out to talk to the pitcher Mcguire. Corner still in, 2-1 lead for UMass Boston. Oh, big fastball there from Mcguire in a fastball count. He blew it by the right-handed bat Morganelli. Here comes the 2-1. Sprayed, foul. It's 2-2. Let's look back to that last sequence. The bunt here. Fowler did the right thing, got to the ball quickly, and as we watch, he would have had him, but Boudreaux just wasn't standing on the bag in a forced situation. It looked like he was almost set up to try and make a tag.
First of all, the bunter somehow got the barrel on the ball. It looked like it was going to hit him in the foot. Somehow got it down. Pretty good bunt for that bad of a pitch to bunt.
Now 2-2. Up and away. It's 3-2. So bases loaded, nowhere to put Morganelli with still nobody out. Endicott down a run, but the Tide swinging the Goals' way right now. Payoff, line drive, center field, hangs up for the new center fielder Danny Brown. He puts it away. Runner coming from 3rd, and Serena is in. Sacrifice fly for Steve Morganelli. Game is tied at 2.
Again, another center fielder not hitting their cut. UMass Boston was lucky that Corbin Hyde is not the quickest of types on second base, so that could have been another runner on 3rd with less than 2 outs.
And lucky Joe Mcguire was there backing up as well as he ran down that ball. So 2-2 game. Top of the 6th, still a threat from Endicott. Joseph Deutsch at the plate with runners on first and second. There'll be a pinch hitter. Ian Schmidt will pinch hit in Joseph Deutsch's spot. This season, Schmidt has played in 29 games. He's a .267 hitter with a homer and 8 RBIs. Pitch to Mcguire. Fly ball. Fouled away. Schmidt is a catcher by trade, so we'll see if his pinch hit move also prompts some defensive changes. Only a freshman out of Plymouth, Connecticut. Oh, 1. That's a check swing dribbler out in front. Tough play for Searles, and he gets there to beat Ian Schmidt 2-3. It does move the runners up to third and second. Hyde to third. Seidel to second. One of those when you accidentally check swing, make contact like that, the shock of it oftentimes freezes a batter in the box, and it took Schmidt forever to get out of the batter's box, which gave Searles plenty of time.
Well, catcher, first of all, doesn't have much speed, but Searles really jumped on that baseball and didn't take his time, threw to first, and got back to home plate, make sure the run didn't score.
So now Hunter Boyce, and he takes a first pitch strike. 2-2 game. Endicott has runners on second and third. Endicott's left 4 on base so far today, 2 in scoring position. This is down and in. Beacons have left 10 on base already today, and they've left 6 in scoring position over the first 5 times around. Ball on the strike to Hunter Boyce, who calls time. One, sprayed foul. So ball and 2 strikes, chance for Mcguire to get out of this inning. By the way, you can close the book on Gerson. Run that scored here was charged to him. So 5+ innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks. He struck out 2. And he will get a no decision in this one. 1-2, line drive right center field, and it's down for a base hit. Endicott leads. Hyde scores. Here's a relay to the plate. Bobbled by Searles, and that allows Seidel to score as well. It's a 2 RBI single for Hunter Boyce. 3 in for Endicott.
I'm not quite sure why Fowler cut that or why Searles had Fowler cut that, but that looked like a throw that was on line. Probably would have bounced a couple times, but would have gotten to Searles before the throw from Fowler.
Fowler almost seemed like he was surprised the runner was coming. He cut and then had to pump it quickly and short hop the throw into Searles. Cam Farnham hits, clutch base hit for Hunter Boyce. Farnham trying to bunt for a base hit, fouls it off. So now UMass Boston finds itself behind. Won 7 consecutive games, as has Endicott. This matches the 10-4 win against Plymouth State for most runs allowed during the win streak as the ball's fouled back. During the win streak, Beacon's pitching staff's allowed 2 runs, 1 run, 1 run, 1 run, 1 run, 4 runs, and no runs.
Both these teams' last loss was to Southern Maine.
Now they're a streak starter, it sounds like then. 0-2 slides outside to move the count to 1-2. Southern Maine, after missing out on the NCAA tournament last year, seems to have a phenomenal team again this season. 11-1 in conference play. They're consistently one of the top teams in the Little East Conference.
Yeah, you got to give most of that credit to Ed Flaherty, who's been around forever almost. He's got 2 championship titles himself, let alone, I'm sure, multiple.
Here's a blooper coming down to center field, and it falls for a base hit in front of Nick Herzog. So Cam Farnham adds a hit as well, runners on first and second.
I think Flaherty's got about double-digit LEC titles under his belt.
Well, you know you've done something well when you have the field named after you before you've even stopped coaching. And the field at Southern Maine is named after Ed Flaherty. Hunter Boyce at second, Cam Farnham at first, and now it's Michael DiDonato, the leadoff man. 0 for 3 today, reached on an error, flew out, and grounded out. 3 runs already home in the inning. The last 2 charged to Joe Mcguire. It's first pitch strike. Oh, 1 slider fouled away. Count now 0-2 on DiDonato, but he's not a guy who strikes out a whole lot. We saw him foul off 4 2-strike pitches in a previous at bat before popping out. Three into the frame, top of the 6th. 4-2, the lead for Endicott College. There's a called strike 3. Good spot from Mcguire, and it finally ends the inning, but not before Endicott strikes thrice, and they jump ahead 4-2 on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
New pitcher for Endicott College is Alexander Mandris, and now he heads out with the lead thanks to some big hits from Endicott College coming through in the clutch, scoring 3 runs in the top of this last inning. Endicott College RBI hits from Hunter Boyce and a sacrifice fly from Steve Morganelli. So the new pitcher into this game is Alexander Mandris, a freshman from Acton, Massachusetts, and Acton, Boxborough. Pinch hitter Ian Schmidt, who's a catcher by trade, will stay in at third base. So Schmidt over at third. And again, Alexander Mandris into the game. Numbers on Mandris this season. He has pitched in 13 games. 1-1 record. Excuse me, that was his fielding percentage. Mandris this season pitching has pitched in 13 games with a 2-1 record. He's pitched 16 innings. He's allowed 19 hits and 12 earned runs. He's walked 9. He has struck out 13. He has a 7.31 ERA. To the top of the order, and Josh Lopez to lead things off for the Beacons, trailing 4-2. Lopez takes up and in for ball 1. Your line on Joseph Oriola, pitches 5 innings, gives up 2 earned runs on 6 hits. He also walked 5 and struck out 5. So mixed bag for Oriola, but he limited the damage, stranding 10 runners on base and he leaves in line for the win. Lopez down in the count 1-2 now. Josh Lopez looking for his first hit today, coming off a 538 week last week. Nubs this one on the ground to second. That's easy for DiDonato. One down. With one down, Alexander Mandris will face Dan Mantoni, 1 for 3 today with a single.
The designated hitter, number 7, Dan Mantoni.
Mantoni watches the first pitch dive low for a ball.
Pitcher for Endicott almost has a windup like San Francisco Giants' Derek Law for all you MLB followers out there.
Fister foul. It is interesting, and he ends up coming down with his plant foot toward third, so really throwing somewhat dramatically across his body here, too.
Seems like he's throwing arms and legs at you as a hitter.
That would be tough, getting real arms and legs thrown at you. Hard to see the baseball there. 1-1. Comes down low. I think so. Does hide the baseball way low back behind his back leg. Kind of just slingshots at the end. 2-1 for Mandris. Fouled away. A little bit of Dontrell Willis as well. Not quite as high an exaggerated leg kick, but similar arm motion.
Yeah, as a Mets fan, I don't want to hear that name too often. He dominated the Mets.
2-2. Ground ball foul. Amazing how quickly that boom and bust was with Dontrell Willis, though. It was one of those things where once people got comfortable enough with his motion, all of a sudden realized he was a guy throwing mid-80s fastball. It was just that deception. This is fouled away, and the count stays at 2-2.
Yeah, I mean he was a gamer too for the time.
Yeah, he could hit too. He was a great hitter at the bottom of the order.
Got a grand slam to his name against the Mets. Never forget that one.
Must be rough to be a Mets fan.
2 years ago it wasn't too bad, but
2-2, down low. Phillies fan over here just giving you a hard time. So
you're another Phillies fan?
I am.
Jesus. I'm on the broadcast with 3 Phillies fans all the time. Jeez.
3-ball, 2-strike count to Dan Mantoni. Beacons find themselves behind for the first time today after Endicott scored 3 runs in the top of the inning. And Mantoni's down on strikes. After a number of breaking pitches, Mandris went to the fastball there.
Elevated fastballs getting most of these Beacons hitters to strike out.
So 2 down, and Kyle Boudris will bat. He's hit the ball well in 2 of his 3 at-bats, has just 1 hit to show for it. A double back in the first. He has grounded out in both the 3rd and the 4th. Boudris takes down and in for ball 1. First of 5 games in 4 days for the Beacons, so you want to get off on the right foot. Slow roller from Boudris to the 3rd baseman. This is Schmidt just into the game, and his low throw is in time. Very quick inning out of the bullpen for Alexander Mandris, just what the doctor ordered for the goals with their first lead of the game. It's now 4-2 Endicott, heading to the 7th on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
We move now to the top of the 7th. Endicott College leads UMass Boston 4-2 in a matchup of two teams with 7-game win streaks. Endicott scored 3 runs in the top of the 6th, so they lead for the first time today here in the 7th. Joe Mcguire will pitch his second inning of work in relief. Mcguire pitched an inning in the 6th, coming in relief of Josh Gerson, who'd walked the leadoff man. Starts with a fastball here to Mike Coaches. Mcguire allowed 3 hits. Was hurt by a bunt fielder's choice that didn't get him an out either. 3 runs ended up coming home, 1 charge to Gerson, 2 to Mcguire. Beacons were tagged with an error in that inning as well. The throw to the plate as they were looking to get the trailing runner Seidel that skipped in on the catcher Searles ruled an error on the throw from Chris Fowler. So only one of those 2 runs Mcguire allowed in that inning will go down as earned. 2 balls and a strike to the batter Coaches. Hard fastball from Mcguire, misses wide. Here comes a 3-1 pitch. Popped up, very shallow right, and that'll stay playable for the infielders. Fowler in foul territory makes the snag. Not what you're looking for on 3-1 if you're a 400 hitter like Coaches. He just got way underneath it.
Yeah, he could have been fooled. Wasn't sure what was coming. And Joe's fastball moves about 6 inches, so it's tough to barrel up no matter what count it is.
1 down. Batter is Serena. Anthony Serena walked and scored in the 6th. He's also popped out and grounded out. Fastball misses just wide. Serena's walk started that 6th inning rally. Both rallies for Endicott, both innings they've scored have been started with walks. 1-0 fastball buzzes in at the knees. Great pitch to move the count to 1-1. Mcguire drops a changeup in 1-2. Good mix of pitches here. He works very quickly, gets the ball right back, straight to the rubber. Let's keep that rhythm going. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, his second strikeout. Burned an elevated fastball past Serena, 2 down quickly here in the 7th.
The left fielder, number 25, Corbin Hyde.
Corbin Hyde digs in, singled and scored in the 6th. He also walked in the 4th and scored a run there. 1 for 2 overall on the day. Backdoor slider is strike number 1 to Corbin Hyde. Very tough first pitch to hit. A 1, swing and a miss. Good mix of pitches from Mcguire so far here in the 7th.
Yeah, you can see the run on that fastball really getting the swing and miss out of Corbin Hyde.
Mcguire, kick and pitch into the dirt. So now ball and 2 strikes to Corbin Hyde. Batting in the cleanup spot for Endicott College. Here it comes, slider, called strike 3 on the outside corner. Quick work for Joe Mcguire in the 7th. A pop out and 2 strikeouts. Time to stretch at Monin Park. Beacons down 2, 4-2.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Alexander Mandris gets his second inning out of the bullpen for Endicott College, and he probably deserves it. Went 1-2-3 in his first inning in the sixth, relieving Joseph Oriola, who pitched 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, 5 walks, struck out 5. He's in line for the win as Endicott College leads UMass Boston 4-2. Beacons start with the middle of the order, 4-5-6. Chris Fowler leads things off. Fowler 1 for 2 today. He has scored both Beacons runs. He tripled in his last at-bat to extend his hit streak to 27 games. It's ball 1 to Fowler. Last year, Fowler in his first season with the Beacons hit just .233. Played in just 23 games. But he's really hit from the very start of the season this time around and hasn't stopped. Called strike on the inside corner, moves the count to 1-2.
Yeah, Fowler put a lot of work in over the offseason. He put on about 20 pounds of muscle and looks like an absolute man-child right now.
1-2, hammers this one, foul. Out in front of an off-speed pitch. He's got the classic look going, as do most of the Beacons here at Monin Park, with the pant legs rolled up, the stirrups showing. It's become a rarer and rarer sight around baseball these days.
It's probably one of my favorite looks, though, with the stirrups high.
1-2. Off the top of the bat, straight back to Mandris at the mound. Oh, he almost threw it away, 1 down. Fortunately for him, Chris Seidel was ready for anything and picked out that fastball that was right by his ankles to snag it for the out. With 1 out, here comes Nick Herzog. 1 for 2 with a walk, an RBI single, and a ground out. Herzog pulls back and takes ball 1. High fastball up over the eye level of Herzog to move the count to 2-0. Beacons down 2, bottom 7. The blanket of fog rolling in off the water across us here at Monin Park. It's a called strike to bring the count to 2-1. Beacons will play Salve Regina tomorrow, nationally ranked. Then they'll play Amherst on Wednesday. They'll wrap up the regular season with a doubleheader against Western Connecticut State right back here on Thursday. Entering this busy portion of the schedule, winners of 7 straight, but Endicott's won 7 in a row as well. 2-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Alexander Mandris has retired all 5 he's faced, and he's made it look pretty routine.
Yeah, he's giving what the umpires, or he's taking what the umpire's giving him. You know, a little bit off the each corner. Maybe 2-3 inches, and he's just hitting his spots.
With 2 down, who's Luke Nagle? RBI single for Nagle in the 3rd. He walked in the 2nd and grounded out in the 5th. Endicott College has wrapped up its conference season in the Commonwealth Coast Conference, 11-5. 3 games behind first place Salve Regina, pitch low. All Endicott College has left is a game on Wednesday, home against MIT, and then the Commonwealth Coast Tournament, which starts on Friday. 1-1. Taken just low for a ball. So that could be part of the reason why you didn't see all of the regulars for Endicott. You saw some, but a couple of regulars with the night off. Giving them some rest before tournament time. Nagle fists this one into center field for his 2nd hit of the day. Luke Nagle's 2 for 3. And he is now 9 for his last 13.
He's tearing it up right now. Just not trying to do too much, just depositing that over the second baseman's head, not trying to rip it down the line or rip it over the right fielder's head. Taking what the pitcher's giving him, taking singles if he has to, and I believe he's got a couple doubles in the past couple days, but not trying to do too much.
Brings Anthony Searles to the plate as the tying run, bottom 7. Manders starts with ball 1. Well, hasn't been a huge offensive season for Searles, but he does have home run power.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pop. If he can extend his hands, maybe even catch a hanging breaking ball, he could easily put it over the monster. But he struggled a little bit this year. He's finally started to hit the ball hard, and hopefully he can turn something into a hit today.
Here in the 7th, he does not have an official at bat yet today. Runner going, pitch low, and that's easily into second for Nagle. Now in scoring position with 2 down. Searles has a sack, a walk, and a hit by pitch today. So 3 plate appearances, but no at bats for Anthony Searles.
Nagle's showing off the speed too. He's got a couple stolen bases as well.
That's his 5th now. 5 steals on 5 tries. Into the dirt, it's 3-1.
He's not what you call your typical speedster either.
Oh, we won't tell him he said that.
All right.
Here's a 3-1, foul back. So count runs full to Searles. If he reaches, at this point, Danny Brown is in the on-deck circle. Brown came in as a defensive replacement for McCormick. And no sign of a pinch hitter. Payoff pitch. Searles got just enough to stay alive. Beacons have done most of their hitting with 2 outs today. Both RBI singles coming with 2 outs. 3-2 to Searles. Bounces it to third and foul. Again, if Searles reaches, Danny Brown will hit. Brown, so far this season, is hitting .203. 12 for his first 59. 3-2 to Searles. Hits it hard, deep left field. Hyde going back at the monster. He looks up. It's gone! Anthony Searles leaves the yard, and it's tied at 4.
Anthony Searles of the Beacons.
What a time for his first home run of the season as the senior Searles squares it up.
You know, he's been hitting the ball a lot better of late, and he finally got a hold of a high fastball, and he put it out, put everything into it, crushed it over the wall.
So that gets Joe Mcguire off the hook for now. It means Joseph Oriola, the starting pitcher for Endicott College, will earn a no decision. And now the Beacons looking to start it with 2 again. Batter is Danny Brown, the freshman from Hudson, New Hampshire. Called strike in the inside corner. Now, if this becomes a battle of the bullpens, Beacons be pretty confident with that. Fly ball foul territory.
They'd be confident, but Brendan Agerbro's not going to try and use it all. You know, they got 3 games, four games after today in the next 3 days. That's a lot. You know, you gotta save a couple arms for the upcoming games, even though you want to win today.
Just a little pop-up to short, and that does it for the 7th, but not before Anthony Searles comes through with one of his biggest hits of the season. 4-all after 7.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Freshman Chris Monroe is the new pitcher for UMass Boston, taking over for Joe Mcguire, who will earn a no decision today. Mcguire pitches 2 innings, gives up 3 hits and 2 earned runs. All came in that 6th inning when Endicott College scored 3 runs to jump ahead 4-2. But after Anthony Searles' homer, the Beacons have tied the game back up at 4-4. So now Chris Monroe is your pitcher for the Beacons. And for the time being, it's a battle of the bullpens. Monroe this season has pitched in 8 games, 0-0 record, 2.70 ERA. He's pitched 10 innings, given up 8 hits, 3 runs. He has walked 4 and struck out 10. Big swing and miss pitcher.
He's got that devastating curveball. And we're going to look at the home run replay right now.
So let's go back to Anthony Searles. 2 down, down 2. Walk me through what you see here.
Yeah, it was a high 3-2 fastball. Searles got his bat around, and he just crushed it. He put over the left field wall. I guess it's not a short home run. You know, Fenway, everybody talks about how the wall's it's so high, so close, but that ball's out of most D3 ballparks,
yep.
Definitely.
Chris Seidel will lead things off for Endicott in a tie game. Both Endicott and UMass Boston have won 7 in a row, so something's got to give today. Seidel is 1 for 3 with a run scored and a single, and he takes inside for a ball. Grounded to short in the 2nd. Singled in the 4th. In fact, he's 1 for 2 because in the 6th he reached on a fielder's choice, but it was a sacrifice bunt. Hits this hard to 3rd. Boudris snags it. Low throw, and Fowler picks it out again. Chris Fowler does a phenomenal job cleaning up low throws and saving errors for his teammates.
Yeah, he's got that big glove. He's scooping off turf. You know, you spend all the time you want out there, but it all comes down to feel. You know, especially from Charlie Hughey, who throws the ball straight over the top. Boudris, who usually comes from the side. You're going to get different bounces from each player. You just got to learn how to deal with it and pick them with that big glove.
Steve Morganelli's had a day today. 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, a triple, a single, a sac fly. First pitch swinging. He's now 3 for 3. Sprays it into right. Heck of a day for Steve Morganelli, the grad student from Milford, Massachusetts.
The third baseman, number 27.
So now there's 1 out, runner on first is the go-ahead run, and Ian Schmidt will bat for the 2nd time. Schmidt came in as a pinch hitter back in the 6th. Check swing on the first pitch. He made contact with the ball, hit it about 5 feet in front of the plate, and was thrown out by Anthony Searles.
Let's see if Monroe sticks to his curveball. Try and get a double play ball right here.
Chris Monroe, freshman for the Beacons. Steps off the rubber. Out of Marshfield, Massachusetts, down on the South Shore. Played at Marshfield High School. Oh, good breaking ball that time from Monroe. No ball, 1 strike count. Well, Josh Gerson, the starter for the Beacons, had a lot of success starting with breaking balls and pitching backwards, and you saw that from Monroe there.
Seems like Monroe cannot see the signs. Might be going to a hand indicator right here. We'll see.
Well, that glare from the lights with the fog as well, maybe just making it a little bit harder to see than it would be on a clear day. Here's 0-1. Way outside for a ball. It's 1-1. This is where we'll see if that's what's going to happen here, if Searles will just stick with the usual finger combination. Pickoff looking at first, and Morganelli's back in safely. Did seem like there was a hand sign there, so maybe the discussion was about something else a couple pitches ago. One Schmidt pops it foul.
Now Monroe's left that breaking ball up twice. He's got to spike it here. See if he can get number 27 to chase.
Ian Schmidt, a freshman. Again, entered as a pinch hitter and stayed in the game at third base back in the 6th. In a tie game, top 8, the 1-2. Breaking ball, bounced it, and almost got Schmidt to chase. So did what you said you'd want to do in that situation. Searles kept it close enough in front to hold Morganelli at first.
Now you need a better located curveball or a well located fastball in the outside corner.
Here comes the 2-2. Way outside. It's 3-2. Yeah, big spot in this game. Top 8, 4-4. Game is seesawed a bit. The Beacons led at 1-0 and 2-1. Endicott led 4-2. The payoff line down the line, foul just to the outside of that line. That was close.
Got a little bit lucky there. Boogers might shade a little toward the line. Hughie might shade that way too.
Ian Schmidt will see the 7th pitch of this at-bat. One down, runner on first, Steve Morganelli. Top of the 8th, tie game. Runner going, pitch cut on and foul back. Just a piece for Schmidt, and he'll see an 8th pitch of this at-bat. See if Morganelli's running again over at first. And a quick snap over. Morganelli's back in. Going again, swing and miss, Searles throw, wrong side of the bag. So Morganelli steals second. Schmidt strikes out, first strikeout for Monroe. 2 outs, go ahead and run in scoring position, and Hunter Boyce is the batter. But we may have a pinch hitter, and we will. So Hunter Boyce was 1 for 3 in the day. He came through with the 2 RBI single to put Endicott in front in the 6th, but he won't get a chance to hit here in the 8th. And that means the Beacons will counter with a move as well. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll fill you in on who's the new pitcher and also who the new batter will be. That's all coming back on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
What do we mean when we say UMass is here for a reason? We mean that the 5-campus UMass system is the only public research university that the people of Massachusetts established to create better futures for themselves, but also for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as a whole. It's a university that educates 73,000 students every day and graduates 17,000 graduates every year. We are the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We're one of the state's 3 major academic research engines: research that saves and improves people's lives, and research that drives the innovation economy of Massachusetts. We provide services and economic opportunity to every region of the Commonwealth. The noted historian David McCullough.
Beacon closer Bobby Tremendozzi enters the game in a tie game. Top of the 8th, go-ahead run for Endicott College in scoring position. 4-4 with Steve Consiglio. I'm Bill Spalding. Tremendozzi takes over for Chris Monroe, who goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up just the 1 hit. Got a strikeout in his last batter at well, ending an 8-pitch at-bat. Brad Ribello is the pinch hitter taking over for Hunter Bryce's spot. So Brad Ribello will dig in. Check the numbers on Bobby Tramondosi this season. He has pitched in 16 games out of the bullpen. 1-1 record, 1.54 ERA. He has 6 saves. He's gone 23 1/3 innings, giving up 25 hits. He has only walked 5, and he has struck out 28. His go-to pitch is that nasty slider he can drop in.
Yeah, you can't really plan for it. You know, it just comes in. It's a different pitch than anything else. Or you don't know what it looks like until the first time you see it facing in the box. And from there, he's got an 80-plus mile-an-hour fastball, and what he's added this year is an above-average changeup. He usually uses it against lefties, even though he uses a slider against everybody. He's probably about 50% slider, maybe 35-40% fastball, and the remaining 10 to 15 changeup.
Tramondosi's first pitch is that slider. Strike one. Ribello is a junior from Bellingham, Massachusetts. 9 for 30 this season. He also pitches for Endicott College. Tramondosi, another slider, bounce right back to him. He'll run it toward first himself, and underhand to the bag just in time. 1, 2, 3. So Bobby Tramondosi takes just 2 pitches to do the job out of the pen. Still 4-4 heading to inning number 8 on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, and I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
All right, a lot of changes here for Endicott College, so we'll bring them to you quickly. The new pitcher wearing jersey number 28 is Bailey Train. Bailey Train takes over for Alexander Mandris, so Train into the game on the mound. On top of that, we have a new first baseman, Austin DiFilippo, a freshman. DiFilippo is over at first. Chris Seidel has moved from first to third. So Austin DiFilippo at first. That means that DiFilippo goes into Ian Schmidt's shot, and Seidel is over at third. So Ian Schmidt out of the game in the 7 spot, and that's where Austin DiFilippo goes. As we said, Bailey Train is the new pitcher. Bailey Train this season for Endicott College has pitched in 4 games. Does have no record at all. No wins, no losses. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 5 earned runs. He walked 4 and struck out 2. So only a couple of chances so far, but he's had a hard time throwing strikes.
Got to be patient as the Beacons lineup.
Train is a junior from Cumberland, Maine, and Greeley High School. Listed as the designated hitter in the lineup card for Endicott College, but this season has only had 19 at-bats on the year. Charlie Hughey leads off the bottom of the 8th for UMass Boston. Tie game 4-4. Both Endicott and UMass Boston have won 7 consecutive games. Hughey today is 0 for 2, a walk, a strikeout, and a fly out. Swing and a miss for strike 2. That's a quick start for Bailey Train out of the bullpen.
Probably going to try and get Hughey to chase a fastball up or a slider away.
0-2. Fastball down and away. It's 1-2. Beacons led 1-0 after the 3rd, led 2-1 after the 5th fell behind 4-2 in the top of the 6th. Anthony Searles' home run tied the game at 4 in the bottom of the 6th. And now Charlie Hughey spins around for the strikeout. See if Josh Lopez can get something going. Lopez hit better than 600 last week. He's 0 for 4 so far today. 2 ground outs, a fly out, and a strikeout. Fastball catches the outside corner. There's strike 1. The start of 5 games in 4 days for UMass Boston, so you know they want to get this finished in regulation, save as much of their pitching staff as they can. Lopez watches strike 2. He's very quickly down in the count, 0-2. Train, slow delivery, slides outside. Now, Lopez hasn't looked entirely comfortable today. It started with that first at-bat strikeout. He hasn't hit a ball out of the infield yet. 1-2. Watches the slider this time. It's 2-2.
He's been a little unhappy with the zone behind the plate, giving a couple looks over the bench, kind of questioning the umpire. I kind of agree with him, but he's been doing it. The umpire's been doing it all day, so you just got to go with it.
2-2. Inside out, swinging a fastball, trying to slice it down the line. It's foul. But that pitch was down and in, and somehow he fought it off down the right field line. One down, bottom 8. Still 4-4. Lopez watches it low, count full. Danger for Bailey Train, who has walked 5 batters in 2 1/3 innings this year. Josh Lopez, one of the quicker beacons if he reaches. 3-2. Inside, ball 4. Go-ahead run aboard at the top of the order with 1 away. And now here's Dan Mantoni, 1 for 4 today, 2 home runs, 29 RBIs this season. If he can find a gap, Lopez has the speed to score from first.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if Lopez gets the steal sign the next couple pitches.
Not running on the first pitch, and Mantoni takes a strike. Catcher is Hunter Boyce. Hasn't been asked to do a whole lot behind the plate yet today. Big lead for Lopez. Still not running. And Mantoni's down to the count 0-2. He's come up empty. Couple big swings today. Now, final week of the busy part of your class schedule to go along with the final week of this season. Dan Mantoni, engineering student, so you got a lot piling up as a student athlete this time of year. Mantoni fights this one off. Count stays at 0-2. In fact, part of the reason that the games Thursday are at the time they are is because Dan Mantoni has an engineering presentation from 2 to 4 p.m. on Thursday. 0-2 delivery. There's a called strike 3. Mantoni caught looking.
It's a great pitch by the pitcher.
Second strikeout for Bailey Train. Now with 2 down, here's Kyle Boudris, 1 for 4. Doubled in the first. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times. With 2 outs, certainly seems like a situation where you'd see Lopez steal, and even if he's thrown out, then you start with your 3-hole hitter in the 9th. Still not running. That's the backstop. Skips away from the catcher underneath the legs of Fowler. Lopez from first to third.
Here's the speed.
Wow. Well, there are wild pitches, and there are wild pitches.
I don't know how that kicked so far to the right, but hey, I'll take it. Run on third.
So the go-ahead run on third, brace for the Beacons. Now just a single would put UMass Boston in front, with closer Bobby Tramandozzi already in the game for the Beacons.
Boudreaux, one of your 2 big RBI guys. See if he can come through.
He's driven in 20 this year. Fastball's inside. It's 2-0. If Boudreaux reaches, Train would have to deal with Chris Fowler, who has hit safely in 27 consecutive games. Half swing from Boudreaux, and there's strike 1. Frustrated with himself there.
Yeah, one of the things Coach Agerbo preaches is no 2-0 check swings, in which what Boudreaux did right there.
2-1. That's high ball 3.
Definitely don't want to face Fowler with runners on first and third.
Now Boudreaux can zone up for something here from Bailey Train, who has now walked 6 batters over 2 2/3 innings. Make it 7. Runners on the corners. 2 down. Bottom 8. Tied at 4. Both UMass Boston and Endicott College trying to extend their win streaks to season-long 8 games. Chris Fowler at the dish. 1 for 3 today. He has scored 2 of the Beacons' 4 runs, a triple and a walk to his name. First pitch, inside, ball 1. Hard to see through the fog, trying to spot an Endicott pitcher in the bullpen.
There is someone warming, we just don't know who.
I think there's a little bit of action there for Endicott, you're right. It's probably Train's last batter either way, and now I think there's a lot of chirping coming from that Endicott dugout with the strike zone.
The umpire just issued his first warning of the day as he writes that down.
One ball, no strike count to Fowler.
Can't tell exactly what they were saying, but I do believe it was something about the strike zone, which warranted a quick warning from the man behind the plate.
1-0. In the dirt, it's 2-0. 2 walks already for Bailey Train in 2/3 of an inning. Fowler takes ball 3. If Fowler reaches, Nick Herzog is the batter. There's strike 1. And a derisive cheer from the Endicott fans in the stands. Here comes the 3-1. Up high, ball 4. Bases loaded. Beacons have loaded the bags 3 different times today. They left them loaded in both the second and the third. Opportunity here, though, for Nick Herzog to put the Beacons on top.
Now, Nick is a very aggressive hitter. Loves to jump on the first pitch. Doesn't like getting behind the count. Let's see if they leave Train in to face Herzog or if they go to the man in the bullpen.
He had assumed that right there for Boyce was a situation where he was trying to eat some time for the whoever's warming in the Endicott bullpen. But no movement yet from the Endicott dugout. So Train will face Herzog. In this situation, do you put the take sign on at least until a first strike?
I don't put the take sign on, but he should be
Takes ball one.
He's got to pick one pitch out here.
And here comes a visit to the mound after Bailey Train's lost the strike zone here. And remember, a walk in this situation puts UMass Boston ahead in the bottom of the 8th. And that's as far as Bailey Train will go. They gave him a chance to try and right the ship against Herzog, but he'll be replaced. New pitcher coming when we come back. Tied at 4, bottom 8 on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Victor Molly is the new pitcher for Endicott College after Bailey Train pitches 2/3 of an inning and walks 3 hitters. Bases loaded, go-ahead run on third. Molly comes in. This season, Victor Molly has pitched in 14 games, 18 innings, an ERA of 4.00. He's given up 19 hits in those 18 innings. He has walked 12 and struck out 19. So bringing in another pitcher who's had some wildness issues with the bases loaded and the go-ahead run on third here in the bottom of inning number 8. Batter is Nick Herzog, and remember, Molly enters with a 1-0 count after Bailey Train threw a first pitch ball to Nick Herzog. Second time today, once for each side, that we've seen a pitcher pulled in the middle of an at-bat.
Yeah, it's pretty weird to see, but if you people back home are paying attention, he hasn't thrown more than 2 strikes in his warm-ups. Pretty all over the place. His one fastball was up and out of the batter's box, and all 4 sliders he threw were down in the dirt, or even one was off the far side of the plate.
Well, rather high-pressure situation to bring in Victor Molly, junior from Peabody, Massachusetts, out of St. Mary's High School in Lynn. So 1-0 count, 2 down. Josh Lopez on third, Kyle Boudris on second, Chris Fowler on first. Bottom 8, tied at 4. All 3 base runners reach via the walk. Herzog takes ball 2. And at this point, you're likely taken until you see a strike.
Absolutely.
It's a good pitch on the inside corner. Count moves to 2-1. Line drive, foul. Well struck by Herzog, but Molly's come back with 2 consecutive strikes to level things at 2-2 with 2 down. Bases loaded for the Beacons, trying to avoid leading them loaded for the 3rd time today. Molly's pitch, breaking ball, grounder to third, takes a hop. Seidel steps on the bag. Victor Molly gets Endicott College out of the jam, and we'll head to the 9th, all square, 4-4.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Bobby Tramandozzi stays in the game for the Beacons. He came in top of the 8th with the go-ahead run in scoring position. Needed just 2 pitches to induce a ground ball out and end the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, Beacons load the bases. Victor Molly comes out of the pen and forces Nick Herzog to bounce into a fielder's choice. UMass Boston has left 14 on base through 8, tied 4-4 with Endicott. Goals will go 9-1-2 in the order here in the 9th. Cam Farnham leading off. He's 1 for 3. Takes low after showing bunt. Coming up on the 10 o'clock hour, this game started at 7:13. It was originally scheduled for 7, but transportation issues caused the Goals to get here late. Tomorrow's game against Salve Regina is scheduled for a 7:15 start. One ball, 1 strike count. Slider outside from Tramandozzi. It's 2-1.
Bobby's got to go right after this 9-hitter right now. He can't deal with anyone on base when he's facing the top of this order.
Michael DiDonato and Mike Cochis wait on deck and in the hole. Good pitch from Tramandozzi brings the count to 2-2.
That pitch is exactly why we're hearing stuff from the Endicott bullpen or Endicott dugout over there. They didn't believe they were getting that pitch as Bobby gets that pitch called a strike.
Missed inside here, and the count moves full. It's 3-2. Well, in the 2 innings Endicott has scored, the innings have started with walks. No walk this time. Ground ball slowly hit to Boudris on the run. Low throw, and it's an error. E5 on Kyle Boudris. Farnham reaches. 3rd error today by the Beacons.
It's almost like Boudris didn't realize Farnham's speed and just rushed the throw and bounced it to Fowler.
So nobody out. Go ahead, run on first here on the top of the 9th. Michael DiDonato, the leadoff man, bats, searching for his first hit. He's 0 for 4. Four runs and 8 hits for both teams. No walks, though. Rather, no errors for Endicott. 3 for UMass Boston. The other big difference, though, has been the walks. Beacon pitchers have just 2 walks so far. Endicott's pitchers have walked a combined 8. Bunting situation here for DiDonato. Nubs it foul.
Bobby's slider's not an easy pitch to bunt. See if he can come with a fastball up in the zone if he sees DiDonato square again.
Bobby Tramandozzi's pitch, bunted foul back to the screen. Now it's 0-2.
High fastball, hardest pitch to bunt.
So do you ask one of your leaders on this team, DiDonato, to bunt with 2 strikes, or does he try to just put something in play here?
I bunt here because Bobby's slider is so hard to actually swing and hit that you got a better chance slowing yourself down and just putting it down one of these baselines.
He is showing bunt again, even with 2 strikes. He swings and misses. Searles snap back to first. That's a double play. Disaster for Endicott, and a perfect picture for UMass Boston here in the top of the 9th.
Great play by Searles. Swiped the dirt, puts that play on. Fowler saw it, picked the guy off.
Big jump over at first from Farnham, who was thinking DiDonato would get the bunt down. Instead, 2 away, base is empty, and Mike Coaches batting. Slider is strike 1 on the outside corner. Coaches is 1 for 4, a single back in the first. He's since lined out and twice popped out. Myers up and in for a ball. It's 1-1. Now 1-1. Slider outside corner. That was a gem. Brings the count to 1-2. Bobby Tramondosi throws the breaking ball that's spoiled foul. But a misting rain here now, late into the night in Boston. 1-2 is off the plate, 2-2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th. Beacons will have Nagle, Searles, and Frashino, 6, 7, and 8. Of course, Anthony Searles' home run tied the game back in the 7th. He'll have a chance to win it in the 9th after Bobby Tramondosi's strikeout ends the top of the 9th. 4-all heading to the bottom of the frame on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Bottom of the 9th at UMass Boston here in Monin Park. The Beacons need just 1 run to win to extend their win streak to 8 games. At the same time, they would end the win streak for Endicott College at just 7 games. It's 4-4 as we go to the bottom of the 9th with Steve Consiglio. I'm Bill Spalding. Glad to be with you. For UMass Boston, 6, 7, 8 in the order. Nagle, Searles, and Frashino against Victor Molly, who entered with the bases loaded in the 8th inning and 2 down and got Nick Herzog to bounce the ball to third. Start of a 5-game and 4-day stretch for the Beacons. They'll play again tomorrow against Salve Regina. UMass Boston has won its last 7. Senior Luke Nagle has been on base 3 times today, 2 hits and a walk. Takes a called strike on the outside corner. Nagle singled with 2 outs in the 7th, and Anthony Searles followed with a home run to tie the game at 4. 0-1 is up and away. It's a mixed bag for the Beacons with 2 outs today. All 4 of their runs have come with 2 outs, but they've also left 14 runners on base today.
Now, if Nagle gets on here, we could expect a pinch runner from Coach Egerbrodt.
Nagle watches a ball away, 2-1. A big bench for the Beacons and a lot of speedy runners there. I've only seen 1 defensive change so far after McCormick pinch hit. He was replaced by Brown. Ground ball back into the mid of Molly. That caught him as he tosses it over to first in time for the out. Well, here's today's hero, Anthony Searles. He homered back in the 7th inning. Another one here would send us home just past 10 o'clock. You know, when you've been slumping like Anthony Searles has, that's the type of hit that can snap you out of it. Today, he's just 1 for 1. He has walked, been hit by a pitch, dropped down a sacrifice bunt, and hit that 2-run home run to tie the game back in the 7th. Searles sprays it right field, slicing foul and out of play. Searles, one of the most patient hitters for the Beacons so far this season. He's walked 28 times. It's by far the lead on the team, 4 ahead of Dan Mantoni. Again, he's late on the fastball. Got better wood that time on it, and it's 0-2. Oh, 2 is way outside. Waste pitch from Victor Mully. Moves the count to 1-2. Bottom 9 tie game, 4-4. UMass Boston, second in the Little East, versus Endicott College, second in the CCC. Down the line, slicing and foul. Haven't really seen a whole lot around pesky pole in my trips to Monin Park.
Yeah, the lefties on this team aren't really dead pole hitters. Fowler's power lane is the left center and right center gaps, where Nagle's developed more into a singles hitter of late.
1-2, way off the plate, and it's 2-2. Searles not a guy who generally chases much out of the zone. Two. Sprayed right field, pretty deep. Up there for Morganelli, who backpedals and puts it away. 2 out to start the inning. And we'll have a pinch hitter. Lionel Danielson will pinch hit in that 8th spot in the order, taking Danny Brown's space. 4th different player to go into the 8th spot in the order. Nobody has touched any of the other 8 spots in the order. Lionel Danielson this season has played in 19 games. He's made 3 starts. He's hitting 188, 3 for 16 this season. Slider down low, ball 1 to Danielson. Lionel Danielson's a junior from the Virgin Islands. Transferred from Fisher College after his freshman season. Danielson fouls this one back. He's got the back right pocket hanging out. And he just noticed that, so he fixes it now. 1-1. Tie game. Bottom of the 9th. Beacons have scored all of their runs with 2 outs so far today. Danielson watches that go low. It's 2-1. Be interesting if we do head to the 10th to see if Bobby Tremendosi comes out for what would be his 3rd inning of relief work.
Looks like the Beacon's bullpen's silent. Someone may be warm already, but it seems like Bobby's going to go back out there.
That was ball 3 from Molly. 3-1 count. If Danielson gets on, he has the wheels. He can steal himself into scoring position. Danielson fouls back at 3-1. Healthy swing. Counts now full. Charlie Hughey waiting on deck. Then it's the top of the Beacon order. Payoff pitch is off the plate away. Ball 4. 2-out walk. Winning run is on first. And Charlie Hughey will hit. 0 for 3 today. He's struck out twice and flown out. He's also walked.
The shortstop, number 29, Charlie Hughey.
See if Hughey can turn the lineup over here. First pitch swinging, fouls it away. A lot of first pitch swings. The Beacons are an aggressive group.
Yeah, and they've been able to work 9 walks on the day.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive.
That's oftentimes been a first pitch swing or a 5 or 6 pitch walk. Danielson running, pitch low, tough to throw on, and Danielson's in safely. Picked the right pitch, a breaking ball diving out of the zone. Winning run is in scoring position in the bottom of the 9th. But the Beacons have had these chances before. Left the bases loaded 3 times today. Molly looks Danielson back into second. One. Froze. Charlie Hughie, and the count's 1-2. Endicott's Victor Molly trying to pitch this game to extras. Charlie Hughie trying to finish it for the Beaks. One-two, slider, and Hughie fights it off. Was diving back in right at the end of that pitch. Defensive swing from Hughie allows him to survive to at least see another pitch here.
I'm surprised the outfielders are as deep as they are. Any base hit to them, Lionel easily scores from second base.
Oh, Danielson's picked off on the spin. Diving back to the base. It's thrown into right field. So Danielson survives near tragedy for the Beacons.
I don't know why he's stealing third in that situation. You never make the third out at third base, especially when you're the winning run.
Like you said, a ball to the outfield probably ends this game regardless with Danielson's speed at second. One-two, up high. Hughie watched it well. It's 2-2.
Got to look out for that slider that dives low and away from Hughie.
Behind Hughie, Josh Lopez is due up. Then Dan Mantoni. Hughie swings through it and will play bonus baseball at Monin Park. Beacons leave another runner in scoring position. We go to the 10th, 4-all.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Bobby Trabendozzi stays on the mound for the Beacons. We go to the 10th inning, tied at 4. Joey Rogers has replaced Lionel Danielson in center field. Danielson came in as a pinch hitter, reached, was stranded on second after he had taken Danny Brown's spot. So this is now the the 5th different player in Joey Rogers to go into that number 8 spot in the order. With Steve Consiglio, Bill Spalding, glad to be with you. We play the top of the 10th. Both Endicott and UMass Boston have won 7 straight, so neither knows how to lose at this point, which is why we go to bonus baseball. See the rain coming down a bit. It's been foggy as well. 3, 4, 5 in the order for Endicott versus Tramandosi, who starts with a strike.
Absolutely nobody warming up in the Beacons bullpen. It seems like this is Bobby's game.
Tramandosi's pitched 2 1/3 innings, giving up just 1 hit. Works this inside for a ball. Well, you worry a bit about 5 games in 4 days, but Bobby Tramandosi's got a rubber arm. Remember last year's conference tournament? He pitched multiple innings, multiple days in a row, and that's a shot from Serena up the middle for a leadoff base hit. Endicott has the go-ahead runner on.
Yeah, but you don't want to tire Bobby out this week because you've got the conference tournament coming up next week. No matter what, that takes precedence. He won't go another inning after this, that's for sure. And if he does finish this inning, he'll probably be off the board for tomorrow night.
Pinch runner after Anthony Serena singled. He'll be replaced by Dan Casciola. So Casciola takes Serena's spot. Corbin Hyde hits. He's been on base twice. He has scored twice. Single, a walk, a strikeout, a ground out. He's 1 for 3.
Got to be looking for the bunt here or the stolen base.
Tramandosi thinking about that as he fires a pickoff throw over to first. Tramandosi misses away. 4 runs on 9 hits, no errors for Endicott. 4 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors for UMass Boston. Slider. That's a good one from Tramandosi. Well, his slider has so much movement, it looks like it almost takes a full 90-degree turn at the end.
Just a great pitch. I can't even explain it. And he's got very good control of it. As you see, backdoor right there. He can also back foot it to a lefty or just spike it to any righty. He could still get a swing and miss even if he throws it 58 feet.
1-1. There is that back-footed slider, and it's laid off. 2-1. Serena singled. Pinch runner Casciola on first in Serena's spot. Cleanup man Corbin Hyde at the dish. Chris Seidel waits on deck. Top of the 10th, 4-4 game. Fastball down low. It's 3-1.
Can't afford to walk this guy.
Behind Hyde, Seidel. Behind him, Steve Morganelli, who is 3 for 3 on the day with 2 runs batted in. Tramandosi grooved it. It's fouled away. Boy, Corbin Hyde's going to want that one back again. That fastball was right down the chute. Well, as you'd expect in a tight game over the last couple innings, the pace and the tempo have really grinded to a halt. Every play looms large. Runner going, pitch inside for ball 4. So Tramandosi loses Hyde.
And we can expect a bunt here.
Yep, 2 on, nobody out. Bunting situation for Seidel, particularly with Morganelli on deck.
If they do bunt, the Beacons may think about walking Morganelli.
Well, lots to converse with here on the mound. 4-4 game. One in the second, one in the fourth, two in the sixth for the Beacons, one in the third, three in the fifth for Endicott. Seidel, Morganelli. Then we'll see who hits in that 7 spot. There's been a number of batters already rolling through the 7 spot for Endicott, just like the Beacons' 8 spot. Beacon closer, Bobby Tramandosi on the hill. Seidel showing bunt. Runner there, Casciola, was quite ready for the pickoff play.
Got to be careful for the slash. If there's that much room open in the infield, just got to poke it through.
Does pull back and slash at it, but pops it straight up. Steve, he was thinking about it, but just doesn't execute. One down. Big break for the Beacons.
Great idea, just poor execution.
So with one away, Steve Morganelli will bat, and the Beacons haven't been able to solve him yet today. He's 3 for 3, a single, a triple, and another single, also a sacrifice fly. He has driven in 2 of the 4 Endicott runs.
See what he could do against Bobby Slider.
You just start going by that name. You got Johnny Football, go Bobby Slider. Saves a couple syllables on Tramandosi. Fastball, strike 1.
Bayou. Bobby gassed him up a little bit right there.
Well, when you're facing Tramandosi, you have to guess. You sit on that slider. Fastball can sneak up on you. 0-1. There's the slider, and that's a strike. It's 0-2. For a guy who's looked so good today, Morganelli has looked lost in these first 2 pitches. Remember, he singled off Tramandosi. Just a step back toward first. In fact, he singled off Chris Monroe before Tramandosi entered the game. Tramandosi's allowed just the 1 hit so far. 0-2. Inside, nearly hit Morganelli. Runners going on 1-2, popped up. So Casciola retreating to second as the shortstop's there, and Hughie puts it away. Back-to-back pop-ups for Endicott. And now an opportunity for Bobby Tramandosi to survive this inning.
The catcher, number 27, Ian Schmidt.
Ian Schmidt will hit. There's a slider, strike 1. So Schmidt had moved to catcher last inning, taking the place of Ribello, who had pinch hit for Boyce. DiFilippo on deck would be batting for the first time. Austin DiFilippo in Ribello's spot. If Schmidt's able to reach. Runners going, pitch way inside. Searles snaps to second. See ya! Got him! Throwing behind the second runner. And that's it for the inning. Endicott runs itself out of a possible go-ahead run. And the Beacons will have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 10th.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
We move to inning number 10, the bottom of the 10th. The Beacons and Endicott tied at 4. Beacons looking for one run to win this game. They got out of a jam last inning thanks to Anthony Searles and his cannon of a right arm. Runners on first and second. Endicott was looking to double steal, and Searles did just a tremendous job snapping the throw down to the second runner. Steve, how about that cannon?
That's just a great throw by Searles, right over the bag. Easy play by Lopez, catch tag, one motion. And personally, I don't agree with that decision by the Endicott coach. Let your guy hit. That's the winning run on second base. All you need is a base hit, and almost guaranteed that guy scores. Put the pressure on the defense. Don't put the pressure on yourself.
Defensively, Cassiano stays in the game after he had pinch hit for the DH Serena. Trying to listen to the defensive changes being announced. It is a new pitcher as well for this Endicott group. Corbin Hyde has moved into the pitcher's circle. So Corbin Hyde has moved from left field to pitcher. Corbin Hyde, third pitcher of the day after Victor Molly went an inning and a third. Molly pitched well to limit the Beacons, so Corbin Hyde takes over here in the 10th. Numbers on Corbin Hyde this season. He has pitched in 12 games. He's 1-2. 16 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 16 hits, 10 runs, 9 walks, 24 Ks. ERA of 5.40. Those 24 strikeouts in 16 innings jump off the page. So Corbin Hyde has moved in to the pitcher's circle. And because of that, you've moved the left fielder who just entered the game as the pinch runner for the DH, Casciola, out into left. So Casciola takes the DH away, plays left field. First pitch to leadoff man Josh Lopez was ball 1. Now there's ball 2. And if Lopez can reach here to start this inning, Beacons will be cooking with Mantoni, Boudris, and Fowler behind. 4-4 game, bottom 10. Lopez takes a strike. Beacons will be back in action right here tomorrow night, less than 24 hours from now, a 7:15 start against Salve Regina. Bunt from Lopez, but he pushed it foul. So now it's 2-2.
Mantoni's looming on deck. He's not had a good day at the plate. Would love for a chance to end this ball game.
Dan Mantoni 1 for 5 right now. Here's a 2-2. Smoked foul, and it stays 2-2. In the 10th, another 2-2. Slider. Oh, call the ball. Count goes full. Wow. That looked like a pretty great pitch right there from Corbin Hyde on the bump. Now the 3-2. Inside, ball 4. So the winning run is aboard. Josh Lopez walks. May have gotten a second life after the previous pitch, and he takes advantage. And the Beacons will look to make it sting. Senior Dan Mantoni from Northbridge, Massachusetts, 1 for 5 today. A 4th inning single sandwiched in between a 1st inning strikeout, a 3rd inning flyout, a 6th inning strikeout, and an 8th inning strikeout. Mantoni showing bunt. Puts it down foul. Mantoni trying to bunt the winning run into scoring position with Boudris and Fowler waiting behind.
Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties with the cameras. We'll try and get the one back up top working as soon as possible.
0-1. Down low for a ball, and it moves the count to 1-1. Dan Mantoni, Beacon senior two-way do-it-all player. Been one of their main weekend pitchers the past couple of years, as well as the designated hitter in the batting order. Mantoni showing bunt. Gets it down this time, pushing it toward the third baseman, who throws to second in time to get Lopez. Wow. Great play by the third baseman, Seidel, who started the game at first. Mantoni reaches on the fielder's choice, and Lopez is retired.
I know it's a dangerous play. I know all the parents at home aren't going to like it, but if I'm Dan Mantoni, I slash right there. You got to take the base hit if you can take it. Third baseman was probably about 10 feet away from him, bearing down, needing to get that out at second so the game doesn't end. And they did a good job.
So now it's Boudris with Mantoni aboard. Boudris slices it foul. Well, if you're Endicott, you take that trade, get the speedy Lopez off the base pass on the fielder's choice. Mantoni at first, Boudris and Fowler hitting next. Still a couple big bats in the order here as the Beacons trying to end this in the 10th. Two teams battling for an 8th consecutive win. Boudris takes a called strike on the inside corner, and now the count moves to 0-2. Beacons have had their chances. They've left the bases loaded 3 times, including the bottom of the 8th. Boudris fights off a fastball on 0-2.
Now Corbin's got that big sweeping curveball that Boudris has got to look out for. Don't go chasing it down in the dirt.
That's low for a ball. It's 1-2. Beacons have left 14 on base over the first 9 innings. But if they pick up a base runner here, finish this game off, that'll all go by the wayside. 1-2 from Corbin Hyde. Fouled back. Boudris fighting. Tough guy to strike out. Boudris this season has only struck out 7 times in 112 at-bats.
Don't jinx it.
1-2. Ground ball hit towards second base. Charging in, DiDonato goes the short way and takes the shore out. Boudreaux's retired for out number 2, but the winning run is in scoring position now with Chris Fowler. Fowler is hitting 27 straight. He's hitting better than 400 this season, and he is 1 for 3 today with a triple. He has walked twice. He has scored twice. Even though it's lefty on lefty here, would you consider intentionally walking Fowler in this situation if you were Endicott, especially since that 6th run would mean absolutely nothing?
Yes, I would walk Fowler in a heartbeat. And they're pinch running for Dan Mantoni on second base.
Yep, this is Eddie Riley making his way out there to pinch run for Dan Mantoni.
I don't know if I agree with that call because Dan's one of your best hitters. Yeah, he's having an off day. But at the same time, his bat out will line up from here on. If this keeps going into deeper extras, you know, it's going to hurt the Beacons lineup.
Well, I guess the thought is might as well just win it now. Well, it won't be Chris Fowler's job to do that, as he will be intentionally walked. There was pitch number 1 from Corbin Hyde. Unlike the major leagues, you still have to throw all 4 pitches here at the college level. Fowler takes ball 2.
If Fowler could get a pitch to hit right here, I know it's an intentional walk, but Corbin hasn't really located both these first 2 pitches.
A little Miguel Cabrera action from a few years back.
Poke it over the third baseman's head.
That one further away, skips off the glove of the catcher Schmidt, but not far enough away to allow the base runner Riley to advance. You're right, all 3 of those intentional walk pitches haven't been anywhere close to where they were intended to be.
He just doesn't look comfortable.
It's an unnatural thing for most pitchers to do. You don't do it all that often. And the 3-0 is way high as well.
He's just playing catch. It's not that hard.
So Fowler walks, 2 aboard. Up to Nick Herzog here. Herzog's been up in some big situations today. He has a single and a walk to go along with 3 outs, 1 for 4 on the day. With the bases loaded in the 8th and 2 down, Herzog bounced into a fielder's choice that ended that inning and keep the game tied. First pitch swinging, fights that one foul, a little bit of a slider. It was hanging there.
Nick Herzog has one of the few Beacons walk-off hits this year already, so I don't think he's uncomfortable at the plate right now. Just got to wait for his pitch. Look out for that curveball.
Oh, 1 coming. In the dirt. 1-1. Well, a long day to start out a long week for the Beacons. 3 hours, 20 minutes into this game that started at 7:13. There's a called strike at the knees, and Herzog's down in the count 1-2. 2 down, tie game, bottom 10. One, 2, in the dirt again. Catcher Schmidt's done a really nice job keeping the ball in front. Corbin Hyde, 2-2 count working against Nick Herzog. Now the 2-2 to Herzog. Inside, ball 3. Runners will get a head start. So anything to the outfield would end this game.
Just got an update. One of the former Beacons, the one that hit the walk-off 2 years ago, Dan Benito, is currently tuned in to the Beacons broadcast network.
3-2 coming to Herzog, but first to spin back from Hyde. He was looking to see if he could get pinch runner Eddie Riley to break early. Well, hello to Dan and to all of you watching out there. Glad you've joined us throughout the course of this one today. To the plate on 3-2. Outside, ball 4. Herzog works the walk. Beacons have him loaded. for the 4th time today. They have yet to push a runner across with the bases loaded today. 3 times they've left the bags packed. Well, it's up to Luke Nagle. Nagle is 2 for 4 today. He is 9 for his last 14.
He's got to be very patient right now.
Lefty on lefty matchup. Corbin Hyde working on Luke Nagle. First pitch, Pfister to third, skips away from the third baseman, and the Beacons win it in 10. Luke Nagle knocks it off the third baseman, Seidel. Beacons have won it for 8 consecutive games. It'll be scored, a base hit, a walk-off single for Luke Nagle, his 3rd hit of the day. And after all that, more than 3 hours and 20 minutes, UMass Boston walks away a winner.
Hey, call it the luck of the Irish right there, but Nagle smoked that. Tough play for the third baseman. He'd have to pick that off the hop. Just, it's not a typical play that any third baseman makes. And he hit it hard enough. I thought he was going to take a couple pitches, see if he can work a walk-off walk. But Nagle went right after the first pitch and hit a seed to the third baseman.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Back here at Moden Park, Bill Spalding alongside Steve Consiglio. UMass Boston wins in 10 innings, 5-4 on a walk-off single for Luke Nagle. Let's look back at the highlights from this game. Ground ball hit to short, could be 2, and it gets underneath Hughie's glove into center. Here comes the base runner, Hyde around third. Fraschitos throws late. It's an RBI single for Steve Moore. Curveball called, strike 3. 2-2. McCormick down the line, fair ball. Ryan McCormick comes through and the Beacons lead. Fowler scores, Searles into third. McCormick slides into second with an RBI go-ahead double. It's a good bunt on a pitch that almost hit him. Quick throw from Fowler into third. Safe is the call.
Boudreaux did not have his foot on the
bag.
bag.
That's the call from the base. Payoff. Line drive, center field. Hangs up for the new center fielder, Danny Brown. He puts it away. Runner coming from third, and Serena is in. Sacrifice fly for Steve. 1-2. Line drive right center field, and it's down for a base hit. Endicott leads. Hyde scores. Here's a relay to the plate. Bobbled by Searles, and that allows Seidel to score as well. It's a 2-0. 3-2 to Searles. Hits it hard, deep left field. Hyde going back at the monster. He looks up. It's gone. Anthony Searles leaves the yard, and it's tied at 4. What a time for his first home run of the season as the senior Searles squares it up.
He's been hitting the ball a lot better of late, and he finally got a hold of a high fastball, and he put it out.
Runners going, pitch way inside. Searles snaps to second. See ya! Got him! Corbin Hyde working on Luke Nagle. First pitch, Pfister to third, skips away from the third baseman, and the Beacons win it in 10. Luke Nagle knocks it off the third baseman, Seidel. Beacons have won it. So the Beacons walk off. They win 5-4 and win an 8th consecutive game with a matchup coming tomorrow against Salve Regina. We'll have the coverage for you on the Beacons Broadcast Network starting at 7:15. Before we say goodbye today, a thank you to our crew, producer Seth Arensky, director Rachel Maslak, Maddie Byrne on Instant Replay. Our camera operators working in the cold weather today, Josh Ruffin, Eileen Shee, Sarah Alendardo, and Kaylee Beauregard. My broadcast partner, Steve Consiglio and Bill Spaulding, saying so long. Once again, your final score for Monin Park, a 5-4 win for UMass Boston. It took 10 innings in 3.5 hours, but they walk away with an 8th consecutive win. Thanks for watching on the Beacons Broadcast Network.